How to Attract Money Using Subconscious Prayer, Joseph Murphy. Take a moment, wherever you are, and imagine your life free from financial worry. Picture yourself with the quiet confidence of knowing that money flows to you with ease, not as a struggle, but as a natural part of your being. What you're about to experience is more than just inspiration. It is a timeless teaching rooted in the profound wisdom of Dr. Joseph Murphy, the author of The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Joseph Murphy revealed that wealth is not about chasing money, but about aligning with an unseen yet powerful energy. He taught that prayer, when used correctly, is not begging or pleading, but a conscious act of impressing abundance into the subconscious mind. In this journey, you will discover how to unlock the silent creative force within you, the same force that has brought success to countless individuals who dared to believe in something greater than their current reality. Stay with this video from start to finish, because each moment will layer understanding upon understanding, gently dissolving hidden blocks around money and replacing them with a deep knowing that prosperity is your birthright. You will learn how to pray in a way that actually works, how to speak directly to your subconscious in the language it understands, and how to shift from lack and fear into the radiant state of abundance. You'll hear timeless insights on visualization, gratitude, belief, and the spiritual laws that govern wealth. Joseph Murphy believed and proved that your outer world is a direct reflection of your inner state. If you change the cause within, the effect must follow. Listen closely, for within these words lies the key to transforming your financial reality with grace and ease. The hidden power of the subconscious. Take a slow breath and feel the quiet stillness around you. Right now, without you even realizing it, your subconscious mind is shaping every detail of your life. It is the silent architect of your beliefs, your habits, your relationships, and yes, even your financial reality. Joseph Murphy, in his timeless work, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, explained that this deeper level of the mind is like fertile soil. Whatever seed you plant there, whether it's the idea of abundance or the fear of lack, will grow into your lived experience. Most people believe money is just a physical thing, numbers in a bank account, paper in their wallet. But in truth, money is first an idea, an energy. It reflects how you feel about yourself, how you perceive the world, and what you believe is possible. If deep down you think money is scarce, hard to earn, or something only a few people can have, your subconscious will silently obey that command. It does not argue, it does not question, it simply accepts what you believe to be true and mirrors it back in your outer world. Think of the countless examples around you. There are those who seem to attract opportunities effortlessly, while others work tirelessly yet stay stuck in struggle. The difference is not luck. It is the mental blueprint within. Neville Goddard called it the assumption of the wish fulfilled, while Joseph Murphy referred to it as impressing the subconscious. When you see money as an endless flow rather than a limited resource, when you deeply believe you are worthy of prosperity, your subconscious begins to open doors you never imagined. Murphy often reminded readers that the subconscious does not reason in the way the conscious mind does. It responds to emotion, repetition, and imagery. When you repeatedly affirm, visualize, and feel wealth as your natural state, you are impressing this deeper part of your mind with new instructions. Over time, these instructions take root and manifest in your life as increased ideas, unexpected income, supportive people, and new paths to prosperity. Consider the story Joseph Murphy once shared about a man who was drowning in debt. Instead of worrying and repeating his fears, he began to calmly pray each night, "I am grateful for the abundance that flows to me now. Infinite intelligence opens the way for me." Within a short time, unexpected opportunities arrived, and his financial situation shifted dramatically. What happened? He reprogrammed his inner belief from fear to abundance. He planted a new seed in his subconscious, and life responded accordingly. We often think wealth is something external we must chase, but Murphy insisted it begins within. If you see money as an idea of freedom, creativity, and growth, rather than scarcity or competition, you naturally align with the universal flow of supply. In truth, there is no shortage of wealth in the world. Nature itself demonstrates infinite abundance. Just look at the endless ocean waves, the countless stars in the sky, the continuous growth of trees and flowers. Lack is a human perception, not a universal reality. This is why it is so vital to examine your current beliefs about money. What did you hear growing up? Were you told that money is evil, that rich people are selfish, or that you must work yourself to exhaustion just to survive? These old programs still live in your subconscious, silently creating experiences that match them. But the beautiful truth Joseph Murphy taught is that you can change these beliefs. You can replant your mental garden with thoughts of plenty, ease, and grace. Start by seeing money as a servant, not a master. Let it be a tool for good, for expansion, for comfort, and for helping others. When your relationship with wealth becomes healthy and pure, you release guilt, fear, and resistance. In that state, your subconscious naturally allows more abundance to flow because it no longer perceives it as something wrong or dangerous. Albert Einstein once said, "Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions." Your subconscious works exactly like that. If you keep imagining struggle, it will create more struggle. If you imagine freedom, it will find ways to give you freedom. Your outer world is simply a reflection of your inner assumptions. So begin now. Plant the idea that wealth is already yours. Not someday, not when conditions change, but now. Whisper it to yourself with calm confidence. Visualize the feeling of financial ease. Notice how your body relaxes when you believe all your needs are met. That feeling is the language of the subconscious, and it listens carefully. As you stay with this teaching, you'll realize that money is not the true goal. The goal is to awaken to the infinite abundance that has always been within you. From that inner state, money, opportunities, and success naturally flow as a reflection of your higher understanding. Your subconscious holds the key to this shift and will respond faithfully to the thoughts and feelings you choose to give it. So as you listen, stay open. Allow these words to gently rewire the old beliefs that no longer serve you. See money not as something far away, but as an ever-present energy waiting for your permission to flow. The hidden power of your subconscious has been there all along, quietly waiting for you to remember who you truly are and what you truly deserve. The spiritual nature of wealth. When Joseph Murphy spoke about wealth, he never described it as something material alone. He saw money as an expression of divine energy, a form of circulating life that moves through people, ideas, and opportunities. This understanding changes everything. Instead of seeing money as greed, as something dirty or selfish, you begin to see it as part of the same universal intelligence that makes the trees grow, the rivers flow, and the stars shine. Wealth, at its highest truth, is simply the visible reflection of the invisible abundance that permeates all of existence. Many people struggle financially because they hold an inner conflict about money. They've been told that money is evil, that spiritual people must reject material comfort, or that wanting more is wrong. But this is a misunderstanding. Joseph Murphy reminded us repeatedly that money is neither good nor bad. It is neutral. It takes on the character you give it. In the hands of someone aligned with love and wisdom, money becomes a tool for creating beauty, healing, and opportunities. In the hands of someone ruled by fear or ego, it may be misused. But the energy itself is pure. When you recognize money as divine supply, you stop pushing it away with guilt or fear. Instead, you allow it to flow. Think about the natural world. There is no shortage of sunlight, no limit to the waves of the ocean, no boundary to the air you breathe. The universe operates on infinite supply, and you are part of that same system. Lack is not the truth of life. It is a belief, a learned perception. When you shift your view of money from scarcity to spiritual circulation, You align yourself with the universal rhythm of giving and receiving. Joseph Murphy often said, "You are here to lead a full, happy, prosperous life." Prosperity does not mean hoarding or clinging. It means expanding. It means living in a way that reflects the fullness of your potential. When you have more than enough, you can give more, share more, and create more. A candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. In the same way, your wealth, when seen as divine energy, multiplies as it moves through you. To truly align with this flow, you must first release the old ideas that wealth is separate from spirituality. Look at nature. There is no conflict between beauty and abundance. Flowers bloom in overflowing colors, trees bear countless fruits, and rivers nourish everything they touch. This is the universal law of plenty. You are not separate from it. You are an extension of it. When you allow yourself to accept that abundance is natural, you open the door for more wealth to come into your life with ease. Murphy told the story of a woman who constantly prayed for money but always felt guilty about it. Deep inside, she believed she was being selfish. As long as that guilt stayed in her subconscious, she unconsciously blocked the very blessings she was asking for. When she finally changed her belief and began affirming that wealth was simply divine energy flowing for the good of all, her situation changed. New work came to her, unexpected checks arrived, and she found herself able to give to others in ways she never imagined. This is the key. Money should not be chased. It should be allowed. When you're aligned with universal supply, opportunities naturally find you. Instead of forcing and struggling, you become magnetic. Your thoughts, feelings, and expectations send out a signal, and life responds. Neville Goddard called this living in the end. Murphy called it impressing the subconscious. Both are pointing to the same truth. When you feel and believe that abundance is already part of your life, the outer world rearranges to match that inner conviction. Think about it like breathing. You don't hoard your breath. You inhale and exhale effortlessly. Money is meant to flow in the same way. If you hold on to it tightly with fear, you stop the circulation. If you let it flow naturally, knowing there is always more, you stay connected to the source. So how can you begin to see money as divine energy? Start by appreciating it without fear. Bless the money you have, even if it's small. Give thanks for every bit of supply that comes your way. Speak words of prosperity over your life. Joseph Murphy suggested simple affirmations like, "Infinite supply is always meeting my needs," or "Divine abundance flows to me freely." When spoken with belief and calm conviction, these words plant new seeds in your subconscious. Another way is to look at how money can serve a higher purpose. When you imagine yourself using wealth to create comfort for your family, to support causes that matter, to bring joy and healing to others, you're connecting money to love and service. In that state, there is no guilt, only expansion. Remember, the universe is not withholding anything from you. It is responding to the image you hold of yourself. If you see yourself as unworthy or limited, you unconsciously reject the flow of supply. But when you see yourself as part of the same divine intelligence that created the stars, you realize abundance is your natural inheritance. Now reflect on this. What would it feel like to know you are fully supported? To know that just as the earth endlessly provides food and beauty, the same creative force is providing for you right now. Let that feeling sink in deeply, because that is the essence of spiritual wealth. Not grasping, not begging, but trusting. As you continue, allow this understanding to gently dissolve any lingering fears about money. Begin to see it as an ever-present energy moving through life like sunlight. It is not greed to receive it. It is not selfish to live in plenty. It is an act of alignment with the universal truth that there is more than enough for all. In this way, wealth is not just material, it is spiritual. It is the recognition that you are already one with the source of all supply, and the more you trust it, the more it reveals itself in your experience. Why prayer works. In his timeless teachings, Emphasize that prayer is not a ritual of begging or pleading with some distant power. It is not about asking for something outside yourself to intervene. Instead, true prayer is the act of impressing an idea upon the subconscious mind with feeling and belief so that it becomes your lived reality. When you understand this, prayer becomes less about asking and more about knowing. It's about aligning yourself with the infinite intelligence that already exists within you. So why does prayer work? To answer this, we need to look at both the spiritual and the psychological dimensions. Spiritually, you are not separate from the source of life. Whether you call it God, the divine, infinite mind, or universal energy, it is the same creative power that made the stars, the oceans, and every breath you take. When you pray with belief, you're not trying to convince this power to act on your behalf. You're simply allowing yourself to become receptive to what has always been available. On the psychological side, prayer speaks directly to the subconscious mind. The subconscious does not analyze, argue, or reject. It accepts whatever it is given with emotion and repetition. If you feed it fear and doubt, it will produce circumstances that match those emotions. If you feed it confidence, gratitude, and clear mental pictures of abundance, it will begin to shape your external world accordingly. Murphy often said, "Your subconscious mind is like a rich soil that accepts whatever seed you plant. It doesn't know whether it's a rose or a weed. It simply grows it." When you pray with true belief, you are planting seeds of wealth, health, peace, or love into the deepest layer of your mind. Over time, those seeds must grow into visible results. It's not magic. It's the law of mind action. Your outer world reflects the inner images you consistently hold. Think about how many times you've unconsciously prayed without realizing it. Maybe you constantly worried about not having enough money, and eventually, you attracted more situations of lack. That, too, is a form of prayer, negative prayer. The subconscious simply takes the dominant thought and manifests it. When you become conscious and intentional, you reverse this process. You begin to speak and visualize the outcome you desire instead of the fear you want to avoid. Murphy gave countless examples. He shared a story of a man drowning in debt who began a simple nightly prayer. "I am thankful for the infinite supply that is mine now." He didn't beg, he didn't plead. He prayed with gratitude as though it were already true. Within weeks, unexpected business opportunities appeared, and his financial troubles lifted. What changed? His subconscious mind, which had been filled with fear and images of failure, was given a new blueprint, one of abundance and trust. Prayer works because it bypasses the surface-level noise of the conscious mind. During deep prayer, you quiet the doubts and worries that normally dominate your thoughts. In that quiet, your subconscious becomes open and impressionable. That's why Murphy recommended praying in a calm, relaxed state, especially before sleep. In those moments, the conscious guard is down, and the subconscious absorbs the feeling of your words more powerfully. There's also a deeper spiritual element. When you pray, you're not creating something new. You're tuning into what already exists in the infinite field of possibilities. Quantum physics even hints at this idea, suggesting that reality exists in multiple potential states until observed or chosen. Prayer is the act of choosing a specific reality with unwavering belief. You're selecting the version of yourself that already has what you desire and bringing it into expression. Now consider the emotional quality of prayer. Words alone are not enough. If you pray mechanically without feeling, it rarely creates change. The subconscious speaks the language of emotion. That's why gratitude is so powerful in prayer. It generates a genuine feeling of receiving. When you give thanks for something as if it's already done, your subconscious accepts it as truth. Neville Goddard echoed this same idea when he said, "Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled." Prayer and assumption are two sides of the same principle. They both create a new inner reality that must eventually reflect outward. Another important aspect is persistence. Many people pray once and then immediately contradict their prayer with fear or doubt. They might say, I am abundant, but then spend the rest of the day worrying about bills. The subconscious responds to the dominant thought, not the fleeting wish. Murphy advised consistent prayer, not as a desperate act, but as a steady mental discipline, like watering a seed until it blooms. Think also of how prayer connects you to a higher state of consciousness. When you pray with sincerity, you momentarily step out of worry, out of the noise of everyday life. You tap into a calm, centered awareness that reminds you of your true nature. In that state, ideas flow more easily, your intuition sharpens, and you often receive inspired thoughts about what actions to take. So prayer is not only about inner change, it also leads to outer guidance. Many spiritual teachers, from Emmett Fox to Florence Scovel Shinn, echoed the same truth. Prayer works because it aligns you with the law of life. Life responds to faith, not fear. It mirrors what you truly believe, not what you merely hope for. So imagine this. If right now you began to pray, not as someone lacking, but as someone already whole, already provided for, already blessed, what would change in your life? That shift in inner state is the essence of true prayer. It's not a plea. It's a declaration of what is already true in the unseen, awaiting expression in the seen. As you let these ideas settle, notice how empowering it feels to know that prayer is not about waiting for something outside of you to act. It's about awakening the creative force already within you. It's about aligning your conscious thoughts with your subconscious patterns and allowing the universal intelligence to flow without resistance. Prayer works because you are not separate from the source of what you seek. You are part of it, always connected, always capable of drawing from its infinite supply. When you pray with belief, you're simply remembering this connection and allowing it to become real in your experience. Shifting from lack to plenty. Joseph Murphy often explained that most people do not consciously choose to live in lack. Rather, they inherit it. The scarcity mindset is often passed down from family beliefs, cultural conditioning, or early life experiences. Maybe you grew up hearing statements like, "Money doesn't grow on trees," or "We can't afford that." Perhaps you witnessed your parents struggle, and without realizing it, those images sank deep into your subconscious. Over time, they became an inner program that quietly shapes your reality even as an adult. The first step in moving from lack to plenty is becoming aware of this inner programming. You can't change what you don't recognize. Lack thinking often shows up as constant worry about bills, guilt about wanting more, or even resentment toward people who have wealth. If you secretly believe money is scarce, that there's not enough to go around, your subconscious will continue to manifest situations that confirm that belief. It's not a punishment. It's simply the law of mind action. The inner belief creates the outer experience. Murphy taught that poverty is not just a condition of the bank account. It is a condition of the mind. You could give someone a large sum of money, but if they still carry the inner pattern of scarcity, they will soon return to the same situation. This is why real transformation must happen within. When you replace the feeling of lack with the feeling of abundance, your external life rearranges itself accordingly. So how do you release the old programming of poverty? The first key is forgiveness, especially self-forgiveness. Many people unknowingly hold shame about their financial past. They replay mistakes, bad decisions, or missed opportunities. But as long as you keep judging yourself, you stay stuck in the vibration of lack. Forgiveness dissolves the emotional weight of the past, clearing space for something new to enter. You can begin simply by saying, "I release the past. I now choose abundance." Next, you must reframe your view of money itself. Joseph Murphy often reminded people that money is simply a symbol of God's infinite supply. It is not dirty or evil. It is a neutral tool, a servant, not a master. When you see it as divine energy, you stop fearing it. You stop pushing it away with unconscious guilt. Accepting money as part of life's natural flow is essential to welcoming more of it. Think about how nature operates. There is no shortage of sunlight, no limit to the water in the oceans, no end to the air you breathe. Abundance is the natural order. Another powerful step is gratitude for what you already have. Lack thinking focuses on what is missing. Abundance thinking appreciates what is present. This shift might seem small, but it rewires the subconscious. When you give thanks for even the smallest blessings, a meal, a safe place to rest, the opportunities before you, you create a mental state of already enough. And from that state, more flows naturally. Murphy shared stories of people who began each day affirming gratitude for unseen wealth. And within weeks, doors opened in ways they couldn't have predicted. Visualization is another tool Murphy recommended. Instead of replaying fears of not having enough, close your eyes and picture yourself already living in plenty. See yourself paying bills with ease, giving generously, enjoying comfort, and feeling secure. The subconscious responds more to images and feelings than words alone. When you imagine abundance vividly and repeatedly, you begin to impress a new pattern on your mind. Over time, this new pattern must express itself outwardly. Replacing fear of money with acceptance also means releasing envy. If you feel resentment toward wealthy people, you're unconsciously telling your subconscious that money is something negative. But remember what Murphy said, you cannot attract what you criticize. Instead of judging those who have wealth, bless them. See their prosperity as proof that abundance is possible. Say silently what God has done for them. God is doing for me. This simple shift removes resistance and allows your own good to come. You can also use specific affirmations to shift your state. Joseph Murphy suggested phrases like, "Infinite riches are now flowing to me freely. I am open to receive the wealth that is already mine by divine right. Abundance is my natural state, and I accept it with ease and joy." Speak these not mechanically, but with feeling. The emotion behind the words is what impresses the subconscious. Another technique is the practice of acting as if. If you were already abundant, how would you carry yourself? How would you speak, dress, think, and make decisions? Begin adopting those attitudes now, even in small ways. Acting from abundance creates the mental and emotional alignment that draws real abundance to you. Murphy also highlighted the importance of generosity. Lack thinking says, I can't give because I don't have enough. Abundance thinking says, I give because I am part of the endless flow. Giving, whether it's money, time, or kindness, breaks the fear of loss and affirms your trust in infinite supply. You cannot outgive life. What you send out in love always returns multiplied. And remember, shifting from lack to plenty is not just about money. It is about expanding in every area of life, love, health, opportunities, creativity. When you align with the vibration of there's more than enough, that energy touches everything. Suddenly, solutions appear where there were problems. Ideas come easily. People show up to help. Life begins to feel lighter and more supportive. Murphy told of a man who grew up in extreme poverty and carried a deep resentment toward money. Every time he received some, he would lose it quickly. After learning these principles, he spent a month simply blessing every dollar he touched, affirming, I am a channel of divine supply. Slowly, his relationship with money softened. Within months, he received an unexpected promotion at work, cleared old debts, and felt peace around finances for the first time in his life. The external changes were a direct reflection of his internal shift. As you listen to these words, reflect on your own beliefs. Do you feel tension when you think about wealth? Do you carry guilt about wanting more? Or do you secretly fear that abundance might change you? These are the hidden roots of lack thinking. Bring them into the light, question them, and choose new beliefs. Shifting from lack to plenty is not about forcing anything. It is about returning to the natural truth of life, that you are supported, that the universe is abundant, and that there is enough for everyone. When you release the old programming of poverty and step into acceptance of plenty, you become a magnet for the very things you once chased. Now imagine yourself standing in that new reality, free from the worry of lack, open to the flow of good, trusting life fully. Let that feeling grow and know that from this moment, you're already moving from scarcity into abundance. How thoughts become financial reality. Joseph Murphy often said, "Your subconscious mind accepts what you feel and believe to be true and then brings it to pass." This means every financial situation you face today, whether abundant or lacking, is a reflection of the dominant thoughts and emotions you've held in the past. Money is not just about numbers in a bank account. It is the outer expression of your inner beliefs. So how exactly do thoughts become financial reality? It begins with the images you hold in your mind. Your subconscious mind doesn't think in words. It operates through pictures and emotions. When you constantly imagine struggle, bills piling up, debts you can't pay, a future of never enough, those images impress themselves deeply into your subconscious. And because the subconscious doesn't judge or filter, it accepts these pictures as instructions. It then sets in motion behaviors, opportunities, and even chance encounters that align with that inner image. On the other hand, when you consistently visualize financial ease, paying bills with gratitude, enjoying wealth, giving freely, your subconscious accepts those images just the same. Over time, they become your new normal, and life starts rearranging to match that inner state. This is why Murphy emphasized the importance of holding a clear, definite picture of what you desire, not what you fear. Affirmations work the same way, but with an added layer of repetition. When you affirm, "I am financially secure," or "money flows to me in expected and unexpected ways," you are feeding your subconscious a new instruction. At first, your conscious mind might resist because it's used to old patterns of doubt or scarcity, but the subconscious doesn't argue. It cannot reject what you truly believe. The key is consistency and emotional feeling. When an affirmation is repeated with genuine faith, it sinks deeper and deeper until it becomes your automatic belief. Murphy often used the analogy of planting seeds. A single affirmation is like a seed dropped into the soil of the subconscious. If you nurture it through repetition, visualization, and gratitude, it will grow into a visible result. If you neglect it or dig it up with fear and doubt, it withers. Just as nature never fails to grow a seed under the right conditions, the mind never fails to manifest the dominant thought that is planted with conviction. Let's look at this in practical terms. Suppose you're worried about money. Each day you think, "I don't have enough. I can't afford this. Things will only get worse." That thought triggers feelings of anxiety, stress, and tension. Those feelings reinforce the belief of lack. Your subconscious, accepting that belief, begins guiding you towards situations that confirm it. Missed opportunities, poor decisions, even accidents that cost money. It's not a punishment. It's simply the subconscious doing what it's designed to do. Bring your inner reality to life. Now imagine you replace those thoughts with, "I am always supported financially. Life provides for me in wonderful ways. I welcome unexpected income with gratitude." Even if your current reality hasn't yet changed, the feeling behind those thoughts begins to shift. You feel lighter, calmer, more open. That feeling tells the subconscious, this is the new truth, and it responds by creating circumstances that match. Unexpected refunds, helpful ideas, opportunities for extra income, or meeting the right person who opens a door for you. This is why Murphy taught that the subconscious cannot distinguish between real and imagined. It only knows what you impress upon it repeatedly with feeling. If you keep telling yourself, "I am always broke," your subconscious assumes that's the desired state and maintains it. But if you tell yourself, "I am a channel of infinite supply," and feel the truth of it, your subconscious goes to work aligning everything with that new belief. He also explained the importance of emotional neutrality around money. If you hold fear, guilt, or resentment toward money, your subconscious reads those feelings as instructions to push it away. But when you bless money, see it as good, and feel gratitude for even the smallest amount you have, you create an inner atmosphere where more can flow. Money responds to the energy you place on it. Think of your mind like a movie projector. The thoughts and images you entertain are the film reel. The subconscious is the light that projects those images onto the screen of your life. Change the reel, and the movie changes. It's that simple. Yet most people keep replaying the same film of lack and then wonder why the story doesn't change. Murphy shared real-life examples to illustrate this. One man habitually imagined himself receiving unexpected checks in the mail. He didn't worry about how or from where. They simply appeared in his imagination as a joyful surprise. After weeks of this practice, actual checks began arriving. Refunds, small inheritances, even forgotten debts that were repaid. The man hadn't taken any unusual action. His shift was purely internal. His thoughts, accepted by his subconscious, shaped his outer reality. Another example involved a woman who was constantly fearful about losing her job. She repeated this fear daily, imagining being let go and struggling to survive. Eventually, she was indeed laid off, not because of her value as an employee, but because her persistent mental image impressed the subconscious, which made it real. Later, when she learned these teachings, she reversed the process by visualizing herself thriving in a higher-paying, fulfilling role. Within months, she was offered a better position with a salary she had previously thought was impossible. This is how powerful your thoughts are. They are not fleeting wisps of nothingness. They are living forces that shape your experiences. Murphy emphasized that you don't even need to force results. You simply need to choose your thoughts carefully and allow the subconscious to handle the how. Affirmations and mental images become especially potent when practiced during drowsy states, just before sleep or upon waking. At those times, the conscious mind is relaxed, and the subconscious is more receptive. That's why Murphy advised repeating wealth affirmations at night. As you drift into sleep, your mind carries those thoughts deeply, planting them as seeds that will grow in the coming days. You might wonder, but what if I don't believe it yet? That's okay. Start gently. Instead of saying, I am a millionaire, which might trigger resistance, say, I am open to receiving more and more financial blessings each day. As your belief grows, you can strengthen your affirmations. What matters most is the emotional acceptance of the idea. So how do thoughts become financial reality? By repetition, feeling, and focus. The subconscious cannot reject what you impress upon it with faith. Over time, those inner patterns crystallize into outer experiences, just as a seed becomes a tree. The key is to take control of what you're planting. Now, pause and reflect on the dominant thoughts you've been feeding your subconscious about money. Are they thoughts of fear and lack, or thoughts of ease and abundance? Remember, your life is simply mirroring the thoughts you've been nurturing. The moment you choose new ones with sincerity, your financial reality begins to shift. The prayer of gratitude. He often described gratitude as the fertile soil in which your desires grow. He explained that when you feel genuine appreciation, your mind moves out of fear and lack into harmony with the infinite source of supply. Gratitude is not just polite or superficial. It is a powerful prayer that says to your subconscious, I already have what I desire. And because the subconscious responds only to belief, gratitude creates the feeling of already having, and thus attracts more of the same. Think about it. When you thank someone for something, you're acknowledging that it's yours. You don't say thank you for a gift you haven't received. You say it for something already given. In the same way, when you pray with gratitude for financial blessings, for opportunities, for health, you're telling your subconscious that these things are already present in your reality. And since the subconscious cannot tell the difference between what is vividly imagined and what is physically here, it accepts the feeling as truth and aligns your outer life accordingly. Murphy often repeated the affirmation, Thank you, Father, for your rich blessings now. Notice the simplicity. He didn't say, please give me or I hope it comes. He spoke as if it were already done, because in the realm of the subconscious and the infinite, it already is. This is the essence of gratitude prayer. It moves you beyond asking into receiving. Gratitude also dissolves resistance. When you're focused on what's missing, you create tension and doubt. You worry, you push, you chase. But when you shift your focus to what you do have, even the smallest things, you relax your inner state. That relaxation allows the subconscious to work more easily. Gratitude says, I trust that life is good to me. I trust that more is on the way. And trust always opens the door for more. Let's look at a simple practice you can begin today. Each morning, before you even get out of bed, quietly give thanks for everything around you. The breath in your lungs, the safety of the moment, the opportunities ahead. Then, give thanks for the desires you're manifesting as if they've already come. You might say, thank you for the financial abundance that is now mine. Thank you for the perfect flow of income and blessings. Thank you for the ease with which wealth comes to me. Feel the emotion of it, even if your current reality hasn't yet changed. That feeling is the key. It impresses the subconscious. At night, you can do the same. Before drifting into sleep, review your day and give thanks not just for what went well, but even for the challenges. Gratitude for challenges is powerful because it transforms them into stepping stones for growth. Then, as you're half asleep, give thanks again for your future desires. Picture them as complete, see yourself already enjoying them, and whisper, thank you, thank you, thank you. In this drowsy state, the subconscious is most receptive, and your gratitude plants seeds that grow while you sleep. Murphy shared many stories of people who changed their financial lives simply through gratitude. One man who struggled with constant debt began a nightly routine of thanking God for unexpected income, financial freedom, and overflowing wealth. He didn't know how it would happen, but he made gratitude his dominant mental state. Within weeks, he received a new job offer, paid off an old debt through an unexpected settlement, and found himself steadily moving into prosperity. Gratitude shifted his inner belief, which then changed his outer circumstances. Another woman was fearful about her business failing. She decided to spend 5 minutes every morning writing out all the things she was grateful for about her business, even things that hadn't yet happened. She wrote, thank you for my thriving clients. Thank you for steady profits. Thank you for the joy this work brings me. Slowly, her fear turned into calm expectation. In the following months, new clients came through referrals she hadn't anticipated. Gratitude opened a path she could never have forced through worry. Gratitude also changes how you see opportunities. When you're focused on lack, you overlook possibilities. But when you're in a state of thankfulness, you naturally attract solutions and recognize chances to grow. The same opportunity could appear before two people, one in fear and one in gratitude, and only the grateful mind would notice and act on it. Here's a deeper reason why gratitude accelerates manifestation. It puts you into vibrational alignment with abundance. Lack and fear are low-frequency states. They contract your energy. Gratitude expands it. When you're thankful, your mind is saying, I have more than enough. That feeling matches the frequency of wealth, which is why it draws wealth. If you want to make gratitude even more powerful, combine it with visualization. For example, imagine holding a check for the exact amount of money you desire. Feel the excitement and relief. Then, instead of asking, simply say, thank you for this gift that is already mine. Keep holding the image and the feeling until it feels real. The subconscious cannot reject this. It accepts it as truth and begins arranging your reality to match. You can also use gratitude affirmations throughout your day. When you receive even the smallest financial blessing, finding a coin on the ground, saving a little money, receiving a compliment, say silently, thank you for the abundance that flows to me constantly. This keeps your mind tuned to plenty rather than scarcity. Gratitude is also the antidote to envy. If you see someone else enjoying wealth, instead of feeling jealous or thinking, why not me? Say, thank you for showing me what's possible. I bless their abundance and welcome my own. In doing so, you remove any subconscious blocks that come from resentment and align yourself with the same good. The beautiful thing about gratitude is that it's simple, free, and available at any moment. You don't have to wait for everything to be perfect to feel thankful. In fact, Feeling grateful before your desire manifests is what draws it to you faster. Murphy called this praying with thanksgiving, acting as if it's already done. So begin now. Look around your life and notice one thing you can genuinely appreciate. Then, stretch your gratitude into the future by thanking the universe for the wealth that's on its way. Do this daily, and watch how your financial reality begins to shift, not by force, but by the natural power of your subconscious responding to the vibration of thankfulness. As you listen, remember this. Gratitude is not just a reaction to blessings. It is the creator of blessings. When you live in a constant prayer of thanks, you become a magnet for the very things you once longed for. Specific money affirmations that work. Joseph Murphy often reminded his readers that your subconscious mind does not argue. It accepts what you believe to be true. This is why affirmations can be so powerful when done with the right intention. They are not empty words. They are seeds planted into the fertile soil of your subconscious. If you water them with feeling and faith, they grow into tangible results. But why do most people say affirmations without seeing any change? Because they speak them mechanically, without emotional conviction. Murphy emphasized that it's not the repetition of words that makes the change. It's the feeling those words generate. Your subconscious responds to emotion, not force. So when you speak a wealth affirmation, you must speak it as if it is already your reality. Feel the relief, the joy, the calm of already having financial freedom. Here are some wealth affirmations inspired by Murphy's teachings. As you hear them, notice how your mind reacts. If there's resistance, simply soften and repeat them gently until they feel natural. Money flows to me freely, constantly, and abundantly. This affirmation works because it speaks of a natural, effortless flow. It removes the idea of struggle and replaces it with ease. Imagine money like a river that never stops moving. It always finds its way to you. I am one with the infinite riches of my subconscious mind. Murphy loved this affirmation because it reminds you that wealth isn't outside of you. It's within. The infinite intelligence that created the world also created your mind. By uniting with that source, you naturally open to more supply. I give thanks for immediate, complete, and constant financial abundance. Notice the gratitude built into this statement. You're not asking, you're thanking. Gratitude places you in the energy of already receiving, which accelerates manifestation. I am a magnet for divine prosperity and endless opportunities. This one shifts your self-image. Instead of seeing yourself as someone chasing money, you see yourself as someone to whom prosperity is naturally attracted. Your subconscious then aligns your behaviors and experiences to match that identity. When you speak these affirmations, don't rush. Close your eyes, take a breath, and imagine what life feels like with these words as truth. Picture yourself paying bills with ease, receiving unexpected income, living without financial stress. Feel the lightness in your body. That feeling is the key. It tells the subconscious this is real. Murphy suggested repeating affirmations in the early morning and just before sleep, when the conscious mind is quiet and the subconscious is most receptive. If you can repeat them in a calm, almost drowsy state, whisper them softly or even silently in your mind. Let the words sink deeply, like seeds falling into rich soil. You can also combine affirmations with visualization. For example, as you say, money flows to me freely, imagine opening your mailbox and seeing a check. Or imagine your phone showing a notification of incoming funds. As you say, I am one with infinite riches, picture yourself in a peaceful, abundant environment. Your dream home, your ideal lifestyle. This combination of words and mental images imprints more strongly on the subconscious. Murphy shared a story about a man who was drowning in debt. He began every night by affirming, I am so grateful for the endless wealth that is mine now. I am guided to prosperity in all ways. At first, he didn't fully believe it, but he kept going. After several weeks, his attitude shifted. He felt calmer, more hopeful. Then opportunities started appearing. An old client paid back overdue invoices. A friend referred him for extra work, and unexpected refunds came through. His outer world reflected his new inner assumption. Another woman, fearful about losing her job, used the affirmation, "I am always financially secure. My income is constant and ever-increasing." She repeated it daily while imagining herself confident and stable. Within a few months, not only did she keep her job, but she also received a promotion with a higher salary. The subconscious doesn't care about the how. It simply follows the dominant idea impressed upon it. If you want to make affirmations work faster, remove the feeling of desperation. Desperation tells the subconscious, "I don't have it yet," which reinforces lack. Instead, affirm calmly, like someone who already knows it's done. Even if you don't fully believe it at first, keep speaking as though it's true. Over time, your emotions will catch up with your words. Here's a simple daily practice you could try. Morning. Right after waking up, sit quietly for a minute and repeat, "Today, money flows to me in expected and unexpected ways. I welcome prosperity with joy." Imagine your day unfolding with ease, abundance, and new opportunities. During the day, whenever you handle money, paying bills, buying groceries, even finding coins, silently say, "Thank you for the infinite supply that never runs out." This shifts your energy from fear of spending to gratitude for circulation. Night, before sleep, close your eyes and repeat, "I sleep in peace knowing I am always supported financially. I give thanks for tomorrow's abundance." Drift off while imagining yourself living your ideal financial life. Murphy also warned against affirmations that contradict your true feelings. If you say, "I am rich," but deep down you feel anxious and think it's a lie, the subconscious will feel the anxiety, not the words. In that case, choose gentler affirmations like, "I am open to more and more financial blessings each day," or "I am willing to believe in greater prosperity." Start where you are and build belief step by step. Another key is persistence. You didn't create your current financial beliefs overnight, so give your mind time to accept new ones. Think of affirmations like watering a seed. You don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You trust the process and keep nurturing it until it sprouts. Remember, affirmations are not magic formulas. They are mental tools that shape your state of consciousness. In your state of consciousness, your habitual thoughts and feelings is what creates your reality. So when you repeat wealth affirmations with sincere emotion, you're not forcing the universe. You're aligning yourself with what was always available. Take a moment right now to quietly say, "I am grateful for the abundance that is mine now." Feel that gratitude as if it's already done. See yourself free, happy, financially secure. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. As you continue listening, you'll realize that wealth affirmations are not about begging or asking. They're about remembering who you really are, a limitless being connected to infinite supply. Overcoming guilt about wanting money. One of the greatest subconscious blocks to wealth, as Joseph Murphy often pointed out, is guilt. Many people carry the belief that wanting money is wrong, selfish, or somehow unspiritual. Perhaps they grew up hearing phrases like, "Money is the root of all evil," or "Rich people are greedy." These ideas, planted in childhood, can linger silently in the subconscious and sabotage financial growth. You may consciously affirm abundance, but deep inside, a hidden voice whispers, "You don't deserve this," or "If you get rich, you'll become a bad person." Murphy reminded his students that money itself is neutral. It is not inherently good or bad. It is simply a form of energy, a tool of exchange, a symbol of value. Just as water quenches thirst or electricity lights a home, money enables you to express more of who you are. If your heart is kind, wealth expands your kindness. If your intentions are pure, abundance allows you to do more good. It is not the money that corrupts, it is the intention behind it. Think of it this way. If you feel guilty about breathing, would you stop? Of course not. You accept air as a natural part of life. In the same way, wealth is part of the natural flow of life. The universe is abundant. There is no shortage of supply. There is only the human belief in limitation. Wanting to participate in that flow is not greed. It is alignment with your true nature as a creator. Murphy explained that guilt about wanting money often comes from religious or cultural conditioning. Some were taught that spirituality means rejecting material comforts, that to be pure, you must be poor. But if you study deeper spiritual texts, you find that true abundance is celebrated. The Bible, for example, says it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. That kingdom includes peace, love, health, and yes, financial well-being. Poverty is not holiness. Lack is not enlightenment. Struggle does not make you more worthy. So how do you heal subconscious guilt around money? The first step is awareness. Begin noticing the thoughts and feelings that arise when you think about being rich. Do you feel excitement, or do you feel discomfort? Do you secretly judge wealthy people? Do you believe you'd lose friends or be rejected if you became successful? These clues reveal the hidden programming that needs to be replaced. Next, reframe your desire. Instead of seeing wealth as selfish, see it as an expansion of your ability to give and serve. Ask yourself, what good could I do if I had more resources? Imagine the lives you could touch, the freedom you could share, the creativity you could express. When you connect your desire for money to a larger purpose, the guilt dissolves. Wanting to create a better life is not greed, it is growth. Murphy often suggested affirmations like this. It is right for me to be rich. Abundance is my natural state. I use money for good and bless others through my prosperity. Repeat this slowly until it feels true. Notice how it shifts the energy. Instead of feeling guilty, you begin to feel empowered, knowing that wealth in the right hands is a force for good. Another healing approach is forgiveness. If you feel unworthy of money because of past mistakes, release that burden. Forgive yourself for financial missteps, for moments of fear, for times you felt not enough. Speak gently to yourself. I am free from the past. I am worthy of new blessings. I allow wealth to flow to me easily. Guilt keeps you stuck in yesterday. Forgiveness opens the door to a new today. It also helps to observe nature. Nature is not stingy. It overflows with abundance. Countless stars, endless waves in the ocean, millions of trees, fields of flowers. Scarcity is a human invention. Abundance is the universal truth. If life itself is abundant, why would it deny you the resources you need? When you look at it this way, wanting wealth is not only natural, it is a reflection of the same life force that creates more of everything. Let's also address the fear of being judged. Some people secretly worry, if I become rich, people will think I'm greedy or arrogant. But here's the truth. People judge no matter what you do. If you're poor, some will judge you for not trying hard enough. If you're rich, some will judge you for having too much. You cannot live by other people's opinions. What matters is your heart, your integrity, and the way you use what you receive. If your wealth is guided by love and wisdom, you have nothing to fear. Another perspective Murphy offered is to see money as an instrument of freedom. It's not about piles of cash. It's about the peace of mind that comes when your needs are met and you can focus on what truly matters. Money gives you time, choice, and the ability to be more present. There is nothing shameful in desiring more freedom for yourself and those you love. Here is a simple practice you can try to dissolve guilt. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and imagine holding money in your hands. Notice how your body feels. If you feel tension or heaviness, breathe gently and repeat. It is safe for me to receive. I deserve to live fully. Money is good and I am good. Imagine the money glowing with light, representing opportunity, kindness, and possibility. Feel gratitude for it, not fear. Do this daily until the heaviness lifts and is replaced by calm acceptance. Murphy also reminded us to bless money wherever we see it. When you see someone driving a nice car, silently bless them. When you pass a beautiful house, say, I bless their abundance and I welcome mine. When you pay a bill, thank the money for serving you. Blessing instead of resenting keeps you aligned with the flow. Remember, guilt about wanting wealth only creates resistance. You cannot attract what you secretly condemn. You must first see money as good, as pure, as a natural expression of life. Then your subconscious will stop pushing it away. So release the old ideas. Wealth is not an enemy. It is not a betrayal of your spirituality. It is a gift that allows you to grow, to give, and to live more fully. When you allow yourself to receive, you honor the abundance of life itself. Visualization, seeing money flow to you. He often taught that your subconscious mind cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. What you consistently hold in your mind with feeling becomes a blueprint for your outer reality. This is why visualization is one of the most powerful tools for attracting money. It plants the seed of financial success deeply into your inner mind, where it quietly begins to grow. When most people think about money, they think about the lack of it. They worry, they stress, they imagine unpaid bills, or they replay fearful what-if scenarios. The subconscious then accepts these mental pictures as instructions and reproduces similar conditions. But when you flip the image, when you see money flowing to you with ease, the subconscious accepts that too and begins to rearrange circumstances accordingly. Visualization is not about forcing or begging. It's about creating a mental movie of the life you desire and feeling as though you're already living it. For example, if you want more financial security, imagine yourself sitting at a beautiful desk, opening an envelope with a large check inside. See your bank account with numbers growing. Imagine the relief and gratitude in your heart as you pay bills effortlessly. Feel the joy of giving to others, knowing there's more than enough for you and for them. Murphy often gave a simple exercise. Every night before sleep, close your eyes and imagine holding money. See yourself counting it, feel its texture, hear the sound of it, and most importantly, experience the emotions of having it. The more vivid and sensory the image, the faster it imprints on your subconscious. Your mind speaks in pictures and feelings, not words alone. Here's how you can deepen your visualization. Start by relaxing your body. Sit or lie down in a quiet place. Take a few slow breaths and allow your muscles to release tension. The calmer you are, the more receptive your subconscious becomes. Then, gently bring to mind a specific financial goal. It could be a certain amount of money, a debt-free life, or a lifestyle of freedom and ease. Don't think about how it will happen. Just focus on the end result. Now, create a mental scene that implies the wish is already fulfilled. For example, imagine yourself checking your bank balance and smiling because the numbers are higher than you've ever seen. See yourself signing a document for your dream home, knowing it's fully paid for. Picture loved ones celebrating with you as you share your financial blessings. Add as many sensory details as possible. What does a room look like? What colors, sounds, or scents are around you? Who is with you? What are they saying? Most importantly, how do you feel in that moment? Relief? Freedom? Excitement? Let those feelings flood your body as if it's happening right now. Murphy reminded his readers that the subconscious doesn't respond to vague daydreaming. It responds to emotionally charged mental pictures. If you visualize with indifference, nothing changes. But if you visualize with deep feeling, the subconscious takes it as a command. There's a story he shared about a woman who struggled with constant money problems. She decided every night before sleep to visualize herself depositing large checks in her bank. She saw the bank teller smiling and congratulating her. She imagined walking out of the bank feeling light and grateful. After a few weeks of consistent visualization, unexpected opportunities began to appear. An old friend offered her a partnership in a profitable business, and within months her financial life completely shifted. She didn't force anything. She simply prepared her mind for wealth. Another example is a man who wanted to increase his income. He visualized clients thanking him for his valuable work, imagined phone calls with good news, and felt the excitement of checks arriving in the mail. Soon, he attracted multiple new projects and referrals, and his earnings tripled. The subconscious doesn't care whether it's real or imagined. It only knows the feeling you impress upon it. Murphy also emphasized that you should never visualize getting money. Instead, visualize the result that implies you already have it. Why? Because if you focus on getting, you're reinforcing the idea that you don't have it yet. But if you visualize the end state, like living in your dream home, traveling with ease, or seeing your bank account full, you're impressing the reality of already having. The subconscious then naturally aligns your actions, opportunities, and circumstances to match that end result. You can combine visualization with affirmations for even greater effect. For example, as you see yourself financially free, softly say in your mind, "I am so grateful for the wealth that flows to me now." The affirmation gives words to your picture, while the picture gives life to your affirmation. Here's a simple routine you can try. Morning, before you get out of bed, close your eyes for 2 minutes and see money coming to you through happy, effortless channels. Feel gratitude as if it's already done. Daytime, whenever you handle money, even paying bills, visualize it multiplying and returning to you tenfold. Night, before sleep, replay a short mental movie of your ideal financial life. Do this gently until you drift into sleep, letting the subconscious absorb it deeply. Murphy explained that the subconscious mind is most open during the moments before sleep and upon waking. These are powerful times for visualization because your conscious resistance is minimal and your inner mind is highly suggestible. If you find it hard to visualize, don't worry. Start simple. Even if you can't see clear images, you can evoke feelings. For example, imagine the feeling of holding a stack of money or the feeling of being free from financial worry. Over time, your mental pictures will become clearer as your mind becomes more receptive. Visualization is also strengthened by repetition. Just like planting seeds in a garden, you must nurture them consistently. Don't dig them up by worrying whether it's working. Trust that the picture you hold within is already shaping the world around you in unseen ways. The key is to make visualization a natural habit, not a forced ritual. Do it with ease and joy, like a child imagining their favorite story. Feel the excitement of possibility and let the subconscious handle the how. You don't need to know the details. You only need to know the end. Remember, you're always visualizing something, whether you realize it or not. Worry is visualization in reverse. It's imagining what you don't want. So why not choose to deliberately visualize what you do want? Instead of replaying old fears, play a new mental movie of abundance, freedom, and joy. Take a moment right now, wherever you are. Close your eyes briefly and imagine a bright light surrounding you, symbolizing infinite wealth and support. See money flowing to you from all directions, expected and unexpected. Feel the ease of knowing it's already yours. Smile gently and let that feeling settle into your heart. This is how visualization begins to reshape your financial reality from the inside out. The law of belief. Joseph Murphy often emphasized one central idea. You do not get what you want. You get what you deeply believe. Desire is important, but belief is the true key. You can want more money, better opportunities, or a life of ease. But if your inner belief says, "It's too hard" or "I don't deserve it," then your subconscious will create conditions to match that hidden belief. Belief is the foundation of every manifestation. It is like the soil in which you plant your mental seeds. If the soil is fertile with faith, the seeds of abundance grow. If it is filled with doubt, fear, or guilt, even the best ideas will wither before they have a chance to bloom. Murphy explained that the subconscious mind doesn't argue. It simply accepts what you believe to be true and expresses it outwardly in your life. Think about how this works in everyday life. Some people naturally expect money to flow to them. They believe they are worthy, capable, and supported by life. And so, opportunities seem to magically appear for them. They attract the right people, the right ideas, and even unexpected financial gifts. Others believe money is hard to earn, that success is for lucky people, or that wealth is out of their reach. And life proves them right as well. Struggles, delays, and setbacks seem endless. In both cases, The external world simply reflects the inner belief. The law of belief says that whatever you assume to be true with feeling will eventually harden into fact. This is why Murphy taught people to change their inner conversation and self-image. If you believe deep down that you're not capable of earning more, you'll unconsciously reject opportunities or fail to see them. If you believe that life is abundant and you have a right to partake in that abundance, you'll act with more confidence, see possibilities where others see limitations, and naturally draw wealth to you. So how do we transform hidden beliefs around earning and receiving? The first step is awareness. Begin noticing the automatic thoughts that arise when you think about money. Do you feel inspired? Or do you feel tension when someone tells you they earned a large amount? Do you feel happy for them, or do you feel jealousy or disbelief? These reactions are clues to your underlying beliefs. Murphy suggested a powerful exercise. Write down your honest thoughts about money. Don't filter. Ask yourself, what did I hear about money growing up? What do I believe about rich people? Do I secretly think I'm not worthy of wealth? Bringing these hidden ideas into the light weakens their hold on you. Next, you begin the process of replacing the old belief with a new one. It's not about fighting the old thought. It's about gently introducing a new truth until it feels natural. For example, if you believed money is hard to come by, you can replace it with money flows to me in expected and unexpected ways. At first, it might feel strange or false, but with repetition and feeling, the subconscious begins to accept it. Murphy often said, change your belief and you change your destiny. The subconscious doesn't care whether the belief is good or bad, true or false. It simply acts upon it. This is why you must become deliberate about the beliefs you allow to take root. One way to strengthen a new belief is through imagination. Let's say you want to believe you are worthy of earning more. Visualize yourself confidently accepting higher pay for your work. Imagine clients happily paying you. Picture yourself receiving compliments for your valuable contributions. As you repeat this mental picture daily, your subconscious begins to accept it as your new reality. Soon, your behavior, attitude, and choices align with that belief, creating outer results that match. It's also helpful to look at evidence of abundance around you. Notice how nature operates without scarcity. Trees don't produce one leaf and stop. They produce thousands. The ocean doesn't hold back its waves. The sun doesn't limit its light to just a few people. Life itself is abundant. If the universe operates in endless supply, why would money be any different? When you align with this truth, the belief in lack begins to dissolve. Another key is self-worth. Many people struggle to receive because they don't believe they are worthy of more. They might say they want wealth, but secretly feel they're not good enough. This inner conflict blocks the flow of abundance. Murphy encouraged affirmations like, I am worthy of all the blessings of life. I lovingly and gratefully accept wealth in all forms. When you internalize the belief that you deserve good, receiving becomes natural. There's also the idea of neutrality, seeing money not as something heavy or difficult, but as a simple, neutral energy. When you remove fear and emotional charge around it, you create space for it to flow. Think of it like air. You don't feel guilty about breathing. You simply receive it. Treat wealth the same way. Murphy often referenced the Bible verse, according to your faith, be it unto you. Faith, in this sense, is belief, what you accept as true for yourself. If you believe in struggle, you'll meet struggle. If you believe in ease and flow, life will reflect that belief. One powerful example Murphy shared was of a man who constantly said, I never have enough money. It's always one bill after another. True to his words, unexpected expenses kept appearing, draining his income. When he changed his belief to, I always have more than enough. I am supplied from endless sources, his financial situation gradually shifted. New opportunities came, and the emergency bills stopped appearing. Belief is like the soil in which your financial life grows. If it's rich with faith, abundance grows naturally. If it's filled with weeds of doubt, fear, and guilt, You must clear and nurture it. This is not a one-time effort. It's a daily practice of choosing which thoughts you allow to settle in your mind. Start small. Pick one belief you'd like to change. For example, I can't make more money without overworking. Replace it with, money comes to me with ease through channels known and unknown. Repeat it morning and night while imagining the result already done. Soon, you'll feel lighter. Then, you'll notice small changes, new ideas, helpful people, or unexpected solutions. Remember, your subconscious is always listening. It doesn't know the difference between a joke and a serious statement. It only records and manifests what you impress upon it. So guard your inner talk. Speak to yourself with kindness and possibility. The law of belief is simple but profound. You always manifest what you truly accept as possible for yourself. So choose to believe in ease instead of struggle, in abundance instead of lack, in your worthiness instead of doubt. The moment you shift your belief, the outer world begins to mirror it back. Night prayer ritual for abundance. He taught that the moments before you drift into sleep are some of the most powerful for reprogramming the subconscious mind. Similarly, Neville Goddard emphasized what he called the state akin to sleep, a deeply relaxed condition where your conscious mind softens and your inner world becomes highly suggestible. When you combine these two teachings, a prayer filled with gratitude and certainty and a relaxed imaginal state before sleep, you create a potent ritual for impressing wealth into your subconscious. Why is this nighttime moment so significant? Because throughout the day, your conscious mind is busy filtering thoughts, analyzing, and often resisting new ideas. But as you prepare to sleep, the conscious mind slows down, and the subconscious becomes open like fertile soil. Whatever you plant there, whether it's fear, worry, or faith, will quietly take root and express itself in your waking life. Murphy often said, the last 5 minutes before you sleep are the most important for your subconscious. Many people fall asleep replaying problems, financial worries, or regrets. The subconscious, not knowing the difference between reality and imagination, accepts those mental pictures and continues to reproduce them. But if you deliberately choose wealth-affirming, gratitude-filled thoughts before sleep, you're giving your inner mind a new command, a new image of what is possible. Here's how to create a simple but deeply powerful night ritual for abundance. First, prepare yourself to relax. Sit or lie comfortably in bed and let your body unwind. Take a few slow breaths, releasing tension with each exhale. You don't need to force anything. Just allow your muscles to soften. Feel the quiet of the evening settling around you. Imagine the day dissolving into calm. Now, gently bring to mind your desired state of abundance, not as a far-off dream, but as something already real. See yourself living in a state of financial ease. Imagine your bank account full, your bills paid effortlessly, your home filled with comfort, your life overflowing with peace and generosity. Do not imagine the process, only the end result. Feel the joy of it as if it is already done. This is where Neville Goddard's teaching comes in. He said, live in the end, in the state akin to sleep. Create a short imaginal scene that implies your wish is fulfilled. For example, imagine a friend congratulating you on your financial success, and you responding with a smile, saying, yes, everything is better than I could have imagined. Replay this simple scene in your mind gently and without effort, feeling the emotions of gratitude and accomplishment. Joseph Murphy would then guide you to seal this mental picture with a prayer. Not a prayer of begging or pleading, but a prayer of thanksgiving and recognition that what you desire is already yours in the unseen. You might silently affirm, Infinite Spirit, I give thanks for the endless supply that flows to me now. My life is filled with abundance. My needs are met before I even ask, and I'm grateful for the wealth of opportunities that surround me. Money flows to me in expected and unexpected ways, and I receive it joyfully. Feel the words, don't just say them. Let them sink into your heart as a living truth. If doubts arise, thoughts like, but how will this happen? Gently release them. You don't need to figure out the how. Your only task in this sacred nighttime moment is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, just as Neville taught, and to affirm it with gratitude, as Murphy suggested. The subconscious will take care of the details in ways your conscious mind cannot predict. As you repeat this imaginal scene in prayer, allow yourself to drift naturally towards sleep. Don't force wakefulness to make it work. The deeper you relax, the more the subconscious absorbs. Sleep becomes a bridge, carrying your new belief into the deepest parts of your mind where it will quietly grow and shape your outer life. You can make this ritual even more powerful by adding a layer of gratitude. Before visualizing, reflect on the wealth you already have, not just in terms of money, but in love, health, friendship, and opportunities. Gratitude creates an inner sense of already having, which matches the vibration of abundance. You might say silently, "I'm so thankful for this bed, for this breath, for the blessings I already enjoy. And I'm grateful for the greater blessings that are already on their way." Imagine, for a moment, what would happen if you repeated this ritual every single night for the next 30 days. Instead of falling asleep with worry or scattered thoughts, you would fall asleep in a state of wealth consciousness. Night after night, the subconscious would be fed only images of abundance, gratitude, and certainty. Over time, this inner shift would begin to reflect outwardly through new ideas, chance meetings, surprising opportunities, and an effortless change in your financial circumstances. Neville once said, "Persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and it will externalize itself in your world." And Murphy echoed this truth by reminding his readers that your subconscious mind always accepts the dominant idea impressed upon it. So if you impress wealth, peace, and plenty before sleep, that becomes the dominant idea, and it must eventually express itself. This nighttime practice is not about struggle or forcing belief. It's about surrendering into the natural ease of imagination and faith. Think of it like planting seeds before you rest. You don't dig them up to see if they're growing. You trust the process. The subconscious is always at work, even as you sleep. Tonight, when you go to bed, try this. Close your eyes and gently repeat, "I am wealthy now. I'm deeply grateful. I live in ease and abundance." Then see a simple imaginal scene, maybe holding a check, receiving good news, or feeling completely free from worry. Replay it a few times, then let go and drift into sleep, knowing the seed is planted. The night carries a special stillness, a quiet power. In that stillness, your inner world is most receptive. Use it wisely, and you'll wake not only with peace, but with a new sense of confidence that life is rearranging itself to match your assumption of abundance. Replacing fear with faith. Joseph Murphy often reminded us that fear is nothing more than faith in the wrong direction. When you fear not having enough, when you worry constantly about bills or future expenses, you're unconsciously directing your belief toward lack. You're feeding the subconscious an image of scarcity, and since the subconscious accepts whatever you impress upon it, it will express that belief outwardly in your life. But the beautiful thing about fear is that it has no true power of its own. It's like darkness. It exists only where light is absent. The moment you introduce faith, fear begins to dissolve. Faith is the inner knowing that life is abundant, that the universe is overflowing with supply, and that what you need will be provided in ways both seen and unseen. Murphy called it confidence in the invisible source. Let's take a simple example. Imagine you have an upcoming bill, and the money isn't currently in your account. The natural tendency is to worry, to replay negative scenarios, and to feel tension in your body. That worry is like planting weeds in your subconscious. It produces more lack, more stress, and more delays. But if you pause and shift your focus from fear to faith, you plant a different seed. Instead of saying, "I can't afford this," you say, "Infinite supply meets my needs in perfect ways. I trust the flow of abundance." This is not denial. It's a conscious redirection of your inner power. Murphy would often quote the Bible verse, Perfect love casts out fear, meaning when you truly trust the source of life, there's no room for anxious imagining. How do you build this kind of unshakable faith? It starts by understanding the nature of the universe. Look at the world around you. The sun rises without fail, trees produce countless leaves, the ocean never stops, sending waves to the shore. Life itself is an endless expression of supply. The same intelligence that keeps the earth spinning and the seasons changing is also the source of your supply. When you align your mind with this truth, fear begins to lose its grip. Murphy often suggested this simple but powerful mental shift. Whenever fear arises, don't fight it, replace it. For example, when a fearful thought about money comes up, gently but firmly say to yourself, I refuse to entertain this fear. I know that infinite intelligence provides for me now. Then immediately picture yourself with a solution already in hand. Bills paid, accounts full, life flowing with ease. It's also helpful to recall past times when your needs were unexpectedly met. Think of those moments when something worked out for you in ways you didn't plan. That memory is proof that life supports you more than you realize. Remind yourself, if it happened before, it can happen again. Supply always finds me at the right time. Another powerful way to dissolve fear is through gratitude. It's almost impossible to feel deep fear and deep gratitude at the same time. When you focus on what you already have, your home, your health, your loved ones, even the simple gift of this moment, you shift your mind from lack to plenty. Gratitude says, look at all that is already here, and in that state, you naturally become receptive to more. Murphy often gave his readers affirmations to build faith. One of his most popular was, I am one with the infinite riches of my subconscious mind. It is my right to be rich, happy, and successful. Money flows to me freely, endlessly, and effortlessly. I am forever supplied. When repeated with feeling, especially during quiet moments in the morning or before sleep, this kind of affirmation begins to overwrite the old, fearful programming. Slowly but surely, your subconscious starts to accept a new idea, that you are safe, provided for, and worthy of abundance. Remember also that fear is a form of imagination. When you're afraid, you're imagining a negative outcome and believing in it. But imagination works both ways. You can just as easily imagine a positive outcome. Neville Goddard taught that the subconscious doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined event and a real one. It accepts both as truth. So when fear tries to create a negative picture in your mind, deliberately replace it with a positive one. For example, if you're worried about paying your rent, don't visualize eviction or stress. Instead, see yourself happily signing the receipt with ease, or even better, imagine yourself in a state where money is never a problem. Feel the relief, the comfort, the security. Let that feeling linger. The more you do this, the more faith replaces fear. It's also helpful to reframe your relationship with money. Many people see it as scarce, limited, or something they must chase. But if you view money as energy, neutral and abundant, you stop fearing it. Murphy often said, money is God's idea of abundance circulating freely in my life. When you see it as part of the divine flow rather than something separate or difficult, your energy toward it softens. Another way to strengthen faith is by creating a daily practice of stillness. Even just 5 minutes of sitting quietly, breathing deeply, and affirming your connection to infinite supply can shift your state. In those quiet moments, you remind yourself, I am part of a limitless source. I am never truly alone or unsupported. This inner calm carries into your day, reducing the tendency to slip into worry. Sometimes, fear about money is tied to deeper feelings of unworthiness. You might unconsciously believe, I don't deserve more, or I'm not capable of earning it. Faith begins by recognizing that you do deserve good simply because you exist. Life doesn't withhold its gifts. Just as the sun shines on everyone, the flow of supply is available to all. When you truly accept this, fear starts to fade. It's important to remember that fear often tries to make you act out of desperation. It pushes you to rush, to force, to grasp. But faith allows you to move with calm confidence. Faith doesn't mean doing nothing. It means taking inspired action without anxiety. It's a different energy entirely. So the next time you catch yourself worrying about a bill, a deadline, or an uncertain future, pause. Take a breath and remind yourself, I have replaced fear with faith. The same intelligence that created me provides for me. I'm always guided and supplied. Then choose one small action that aligns with abundance, whether it's sending a positive email, creating something of value, or simply expressing gratitude. Murphy's work reminds us that fear is just a habit of thought, and like any habit, it can be changed. Faith is also a habit, but one that must be built intentionally. Each time you choose faith over fear, you strengthen that inner muscle, and eventually it becomes your natural state. When you live with faith in supply, you stop chasing money with worry and instead allow it to flow to you naturally. Fear contracts your energy, faith expands it. And in that expanded state, life seems to bring you the right people, the right ideas, and the right opportunities at the perfect time. So tonight, before you go to bed, instead of replaying fears, close your eyes and say, I trust in the infinite supply of the universe. I'm always provided for. I am safe. I am abundant now. And as you drift into sleep, hold the feeling that it's already true. Because in the language of the subconscious, what you deeply feel becomes what you live. How to handle debt through prayer. He often reminded his readers that no situation is permanent, not even debt. What feels like a heavy burden today is simply the result of past thinking, past emotions, and past choices. But the beautiful truth is that your present state of consciousness can rewrite your future. Just as debt was created by certain ideas you held in the past, it can also be dissolved by new ideas. Ideas rooted in faith, gratitude, and the flow of divine supply. Debt is not just a financial state. It's an emotional one. It often carries feelings of shame, guilt, or helplessness. These feelings create even more lack because the subconscious accepts them as truth. If you constantly think, I'm in debt, I'm trapped, I'll never get out, you are impressing that image into the deeper mind, which then continues to reproduce it. But if you can shift the mental picture, even slightly, the subconscious begins to work on a new pattern. Murphy taught that the key is to stop obsessing over the problem and focus on the solution. This doesn't mean ignoring the reality of bills or obligations. It means refusing to give your energy to fear. When you hold the feeling of freedom in your mind, your inner state begins to align with the very opportunities, ideas, and circumstances that lead to release. So, how do you do this in a practical, prayerful way? Start by acknowledging the truth. You're not defined by your debt. It's simply a temporary condition. You are far greater than any number on paper. Life itself is abundant, and you are a part of that abundance. As you sit quietly, remind yourself, I am connected to infinite supply. My current situation is just a shadow of old thoughts, and it is already changing now. Then begin to visualize yourself debt-free, not vaguely but vividly. See yourself opening a letter or logging into an account and finding a zero balance. Feel the incredible relief in your chest, the lightness in your body, the smile spreading across your face. Imagine calling a friend and joyfully saying, it's done. I'm completely free. Replay that moment of freedom again and again in your imagination. Neville Goddard would call this living in the end. You don't dwell on the process of how the debt will be cleared. You don't imagine waiting, struggling, or calculating. You go straight to the result: freedom, peace, and abundance. The subconscious doesn't need the steps. It only needs the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Once you've created this inner image, seal it with a prayer of release. Not a desperate plea, but a calm and thankful recognition that the answer already exists. You might say silently, Infinite Spirit, I give thanks for the freedom that is mine now. I release this debt fully and completely into the hands of divine wisdom. I am guided to the perfect solutions and all channels of supply are open to me. I am free, I am provided for, and I live in peace. Feel those words as though they are already true. Imagine the chains falling away, the heaviness dissolving. Let yourself believe, even for a moment, that you are already free. That feeling of freedom is what the subconscious will begin to accept. Murphy often emphasized that prayer is not about begging, it's about aligning. When you pray for freedom from debt, you are not asking for a miracle to come from somewhere outside of you. You are awakening the power of the infinite within you, the part of you that has never been in debt and never can be. It's also important to release guilt. Many people in debt carry silent self-blame, thinking, I made bad choices or I'm irresponsible. But guilt is just another form of fear, and it keeps you stuck. Instead, forgive yourself. Say, I release the past. I am learning, I am growing, and I now choose freedom. Gratitude can also shift your energy quickly. Instead of focusing on what you owe, focus on what you have. Be thankful for the roof over your head, the food you eat, the people who support you, even the very fact that you're able to listen to this message right now. Gratitude creates a sense of plenty, which is the very opposite of debt consciousness. Another practical step is to bless the channels through which you pay your obligations. Instead of feeling resentment when you make a payment, silently affirm, I am circulating abundance. This money returns to me multiplied through perfect channels. By blessing the flow rather than resisting it, you align yourself with more flow. Murphy often gave his readers specific affirmations for releasing debt. One example is, I am free from every obligation in divine order. The universe clears all my debts easily, and I am richly blessed. I walk in financial freedom and peace. Repeat such affirmations daily, especially before sleep. Remember, the subconscious is most receptive in those quiet moments before drifting off. If you fall asleep feeling free, even while the outer world hasn't changed yet, your inner world begins to lead the way. It's also wise to combine this mental practice with inspired action. Sometimes an idea will come, a new way to earn, a solution you hadn't thought of, or an unexpected opportunity. Trust those nudges. They are often the bridge of incidents, as Neville called it, the natural unfolding of events that lead you to freedom. And be open to unexpected help. When you shift your inner state, the outer world rearranges itself in ways you can't predict. It might be a sudden refund, a gift, a raise, or even a chance to renegotiate or forgive the debt entirely. Many people have experienced surprising relief once they stopped feeding fear and started affirming freedom. So tonight, when you go to bed, instead of replaying the weight of what you owe, do this. Close your eyes and see yourself free. Hear someone congratulating you on your financial turnaround. Feel the joy, the relief, the gratitude. Then softly repeat, I am free. I am blessed. I am provided for in perfect ways. Debt is not your identity. It's just a temporary reflection of old thoughts, and it can change the moment you decide to plant new ones. Prayer is the bridge that takes you from worry to faith, from heaviness to lightness, from debt to freedom. And as you continue this practice day by day, night by night, you'll notice subtle shifts. Your mind will feel calmer. New opportunities will appear, and slowly but surely, the reality of freedom will catch up to the feeling of freedom you've been creating within. Unlocking opportunities through subconscious prayer. He reminded us that prayer is not just about asking for things. It's about aligning with a higher intelligence that is already within you. This intelligence, often called the subconscious mind or the divine mind, is limitless. It knows where the perfect ideas are, it knows the exact person who can help you, and it knows how to orchestrate events in ways that you could never plan consciously. But to access this level of guidance, you have to first believe it's possible and create a calm, receptive inner state. Opportunities don't come by chasing. They come by becoming magnetic. The subconscious responds to what you deeply assume to be true. If you constantly think, I never get a break, or I don't have the right connections, your inner belief closes the door to possibilities that might already be waiting. But if you begin to affirm, I'm always in the right place at the right time, your subconscious starts to reorganize your outer life to match that new belief. Murphy wrote in The Power of Your Subconscious Mind that every breakthrough begins with an idea. That idea is like a seed planted in the deeper mind, and once it's nurtured with faith and expectancy, it grows into the exact conditions you need. He often told stories of people who prayed not for money directly, but for inspired guidance. They prayed for clarity, for the right thought to come at the right moment. And within days or weeks, they would meet someone, stumble upon a new opportunity, or suddenly see a solution they had missed before. Prayer, in this sense, is like opening a channel. It clears away the noise of worry and fear so that you can hear the quiet whisper of your inner guidance. You might say something simple like, "Infinite mind within me, show me the way. Reveal to me the next step. I trust that all doors are open for my highest good." When you say this with calm conviction, you stop straining and start allowing. Imagine for a moment that you already have all the opportunities you could ever need circling around you like invisible doors. The only thing keeping them from opening is your inner state. If you're filled with fear, doubt, or a sense of lack, you're too clouded to notice the doors. But the moment you shift into trust, you begin to see them. You notice a conversation that sparks an idea. You recall a contact you forgot about. You're drawn to a place or event that leads you to the right person. These are synchronicities, the little miracles that seem random, but are actually the subconscious mind arranging your outer world to match your inner prayer. One of Murphy's core teachings was that you don't need to figure out how the opportunity will come. That's not your job. Your job is to create the inner belief that it's already done, that the path is already clear. The subconscious, connected to the infinite intelligence of life itself, knows how to handle the details. So how can you use subconscious prayer to become more magnetic to resources and support? Start by quieting your mind. Sit in a comfortable position, breathe gently, and let go of tension. In that stillness, speak inwardly with clarity and certainty. You could say, "I give thanks that the perfect opportunities now reveal themselves to me. The right ideas, the right people, and the right timing are aligning in my favor. I am guided step by step to greater success." As you say this, don't just repeat the words mechanically. Feel them. Imagine the joy of receiving a message or call that opens a new door. Imagine someone saying, "I have exactly what you've been looking for." Feel the sense of relief and excitement as if it's already happening. That feeling is what the subconscious accepts as real. Murphy would also encourage affirming before sleep. Just as you're drifting off, whisper to yourself, "I am divinely guided. Tomorrow, new ideas and new opportunities come to me effortlessly." The subconscious is most open in that drowsy state, and it will begin working on your behalf even while you sleep. You can also practice visualization in a simple way. Picture yourself walking confidently through a hallway lined with doors. Each door has a golden light behind it. As you walk, one of the doors opens on its own, revealing the perfect opportunity waiting for you. You don't force it. It simply opens because it was meant for you. You step through that door with ease, feeling grateful and certain that more doors will always open when needed. When you pray in this way, something powerful happens. You stop feeling desperate and you start feeling supported. This shift in energy is what makes you magnetic. People sense it. Circumstances respond to it. Life begins to mirror your new expectation. Many people have shared stories of how a simple prayer of guidance changed everything. A struggling business owner prayed for direction and within a week met a partner who brought in new clients. A job seeker prayed for clarity and unexpectedly received an email about a role they never even applied for. A writer prayed for inspiration and woke up with an entirely new idea that became their breakthrough. These aren't coincidences. They're the natural result of aligning with the infinite intelligence within you. Remember, prayer doesn't just bring you things. It brings you clarity. Sometimes the answer won't be a person handing you an opportunity. It will be an inner nudge to take an action you were avoiding. It might be the sudden courage to reach out to someone or a thought to revisit an idea you once dismissed. These inner prompts are how the subconscious leads you, and the more you trust them, the more doors open. So today, try this. Instead of saying, I need opportunities, I'm stuck, shift your inner language. Say, I'm always guided to the right opportunities. Everything I need is already on its way. Feel the calm confidence that this is true. Carry that energy with you, and watch how life begins to respond. Prayer is simply the art of becoming still enough to hear the answers you've been seeking all along. And when it comes to attracting opportunities, the greatest secret is this. You don't chase them. They come to you naturally when your inner state aligns with abundance and trust. Healing the scarcity mindset. Pause for a moment and notice the energy you're bringing right now. Are you feeling open and curious? Or is there a subtle tension about money, about not having enough, about the future? Wherever you are, let it be okay. In fact, share in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is there. It's powerful to remember that right now, people across the world are tuning in with the same desire to release scarcity and step into the flow of true abundance. Joseph Murphy taught that scarcity is not really about the external world. It's not about the amount in your bank account or the bills on your table. Scarcity is a state of mind, a deeply conditioned pattern that whispers, there's never enough. Life is hard. I have to struggle to survive. And because the subconscious accepts whatever you consistently impress upon it, these ideas become self-fulfilling. They shape your decisions, your actions, even the opportunities you notice. The good news is that wealth consciousness also begins inside. It doesn't matter how long you've lived with fear around money. The moment you plant new seeds of thought, the soil of your subconscious begins to change. Murphy often reminded his readers that your outer life is simply the shadow of your inner beliefs. If you want to see abundance reflected outwardly, you must first feel it inwardly, even before the evidence shows up. So how do you heal the scarcity mindset? The first step is awareness. Notice the silent conversations you have with yourself about money. Do you say things like, I can't afford this, I'll never catch up, making money is hard? These statements are like tiny prayers you're unknowingly repeating every day. Each time you affirm lack, the subconscious nods in agreement and looks for ways to prove you right. Instead, begin to gently replace those phrases. The next time you're tempted to say, I can't afford it, try, that's not a priority right now, but more than enough is always on its way. Murphy would call this a mental diet. Just like you nourish your body with healthy food, you nourish your mind with healthy thoughts. For the next 24 hours, try an experiment. Refuse to dwell on any thought of limitation. When a fear of not having enough pops up, interrupt it. Say no. I choose to think in terms of plenty. I'm always provided for. You'll be surprised how many little moments of scarcity thinking appear, but with practice, you'll start catching them before they take root. Another powerful tool is gratitude. Scarcity thrives on focusing on what's missing. Abundance thrives on appreciating what's already here. Even if you feel you don't have much right now, find one thing you can genuinely give thanks for: a roof over your head, food on the table, the ability to breathe, the fact that you're alive to create something new. Gratitude instantly shifts your state from lack to enoughness, and the subconscious responds by attracting more to be grateful for. Visualization can also help dissolve the old mindset. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself standing in a beautiful, wide-open space. Around you is an endless stream of golden light flowing like a river. This light represents supply, limitless, ever-moving, always available. See yourself stepping into that river and feeling it surround you, washing away every old belief that said, I can't, I'm not worthy, there isn't enough. Feel the truth. Supply is infinite, and you are part of it. Murphy wrote about the power of replacing fear-based images with prosperity images. For example, if you constantly picture overdue bills or an empty wallet, your subconscious takes that as an instruction. But if you begin picturing yourself writing a check with ease or opening a statement that says paid in full, you're impressing a very different message. Healing the scarcity mindset also means forgiving the past. Many of us carry old stories from childhood, Perhaps we heard adults arguing about money, or we were told money doesn't grow on trees, or we can't afford that. These early impressions can create a lifelong sense of struggle, but you can consciously rewrite that story. You might say to yourself, that was the belief of the past. I now choose a new truth. I live in an abundant universe, and I am supported. Prayer, of course, is one of the most powerful ways to heal inner scarcity. You can simply speak to the infinite within you. Divine intelligence within me. Dissolve every belief in lack and limitation. Open my mind to see the abundance that is already present. I am aligned with wealth, freedom, and supply in all areas of my life. Notice how these words feel in your body. They bring a sense of peace, don't they? That peace is the sign that you're moving out of fear and into trust. And trust is the soil in which new opportunities grow. It's also helpful to surround yourself with reminders of plenty. Nature is a perfect example. Go outside and look at the endless sky, the countless leaves on a single tree, the waves of the ocean. Nature is never stingy. It's overflowing, always multiplying, always renewing. That same principle of endless supply runs through you because you are part of life itself. One of Murphy's favorite affirmations for prosperity was, I am one with the infinite riches of my subconscious mind. It is my right to be rich, happy, and successful. Money flows to me freely, abundantly, and endlessly. I am forever conscious of my true worth. Repeat this often, not as empty words, but as a calm recognition of truth. The more you affirm it, the more your subconscious begins to believe it, and the outer conditions naturally follow. Healing scarcity isn't about suddenly becoming rich overnight. It's about shifting your inner state so that you no longer feel trapped in lack. When you no longer feel desperate or fearful, you make better decisions, notice better opportunities, and take inspired actions that lead to more flow. So starting today, practice 3 things. Catch and replace thoughts of lack. Spend a few minutes daily in gratitude for what you already have. Affirm your connection to infinite supply before you sleep. Little by little, you'll feel lighter. You'll notice subtle changes, unexpected blessings, new ideas, supportive people showing up. That's the outer reflection of your healed inner state. The prosperity blueprint within you. Joseph Murphy explained that your subconscious mind is like a blueprint factory. It holds patterns, programs, and deeply rooted beliefs that silently shape your reality. Just as an architect's design determines the structure of a building, your inner mental blueprint determines the structure of your financial life. If the design is rooted in scarcity, fear, or self-doubt, the outer result will reflect those patterns no matter how hard you work. But if the inner design is rooted in abundance, worthiness, and trust in supply, life rearranges itself to match that vision. This blueprint didn't just appear overnight. It was shaped by years of experiences, words you heard growing up, cultural conditioning, and even emotional moments around money. For example, if you were told as a child, we can't afford that, your subconscious may have recorded a program that says, there's never enough. Or if you saw someone being judged for having wealth, you might have developed a hidden fear of becoming successful. The powerful truth Murphy revealed is this. No matter how deep those old programs go, they can be reset. The subconscious is malleable. It doesn't hold onto the past out of spite. It holds on to it because it thinks it's keeping you safe. When you introduce a new belief with repetition, feeling, and conviction, the old pattern begins to dissolve, and a new financial thermostat is set. What is a financial thermostat? It's the invisible limit you unconsciously set on how much you allow yourself to earn, receive, and keep. Just like a thermostat in a room keeps the temperature stable, your inner thermostat keeps your life at a level you feel normal or comfortable with. If your blueprint is set for struggle, even when you make more money, something will happen to bring you back to that level. Unexpected bills, impulsive spending, missed opportunities. But when you expand your inner sense of wealth, your outer life naturally rises to meet it. So how do you reset this inner design? First, you must recognize that wealth is not something you chase. it's something you align with. Murphy wrote that wealth is a state of consciousness. It's the calm knowing that supply is always flowing and you are always connected to it. When you think of money with fear or tension, you are affirming separation from that flow. When you think of money as divine energy circulating freely, you are aligning with it. One simple practice is to sit quietly and repeat. There is an infinite reservoir of wealth within me. My subconscious mind is a perfect channel for prosperity. I reset my inner pattern to abundance now. Say this slowly with feeling. Imagine that your subconscious is like soft clay, and each affirmation is gently reshaping it. Over time, the new shape becomes your normal, and life reflects it. Visualization can deepen this reset. Picture yourself looking at an internal blueprint. The old one is filled with scarcity codes, limitations, and outdated beliefs. Now imagine rolling it up and replacing it with a new design. On this new blueprint, see words like freedom, flow, abundance, ease. Imagine yourself walking through a home or life built from this upgraded plan. Everything is spacious, peaceful, and supportive. Another powerful step is to observe your current money ceiling. Ask yourself, what level of income or savings do I feel is possible for me? Then gently stretch it. If you've been comfortable imagining a certain amount, double in your mind. Don't force it, but allow your imagination to see yourself living easily with more. As Murphy often said, your subconscious accepts the image you give it, so give it the largest, most beautiful image you can believe in. You can also use the principle of assumption, similar to Neville Goddard's teachings. Instead of saying, I want to be wealthy, shift to, I am already aligned with wealth. I'm already a person who receives easily. My life naturally supports abundance. This subtle change tells your subconscious that it's already true, so it begins working to match that state in your outer world. Forgiveness is another key. Many people carry hidden resentment toward money, resentment toward those who have it, or guilt over times they made poor decisions. These emotions keep the blueprint locked in scarcity. Take a moment to silently forgive yourself for any past mistakes. Forgive anyone who may have spoken negatively about money in your life. Affirm, I release the past. I bless everyone, and I bless myself. I allow a new pattern of prosperity to take root now. Murphy often reminded his readers that your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant will grow, whether it's weeds or flowers. If you've been planting seeds of fear, you can start planting seeds of abundance right now. With consistent watering, through prayer, affirmation, gratitude, and new thoughts, the new garden will replace the old one. You might also adopt what he called a mental atmosphere of wealth. This doesn't mean reckless spending or pretending. It means carrying yourself as someone who already feels secure and provided for. Walk into a store with the energy of I belong here. Speak about your future with confidence rather than worry. Stop telling poverty stories and start telling expansion stories. Your words reinforce the blueprint. One of Murphy's classic affirmations for this reset is, I am open and receptive to new channels of wealth. Infinite intelligence guides my steps. I have a wealth blueprint of freedom, joy, and abundance within me now. As you say it, feel the shift. Imagine your subconscious glowing with new energy, like the old patterns are dissolving into light and the new ones are being etched in gold. In time, this becomes natural. You'll notice small changes first, unexpected blessings, an easier feeling around money, new ideas, or helpful people entering your life. These are signs that the inner blueprint has changed and the outer world is following. So remember, you don't need to create prosperity from scratch. The blueprint for abundance is already within you. It's simply waiting for you to acknowledge it, nurture it, and allow it to express. Reset it with love, and life will mirror that new design in ways that feel effortless and right. The power of repetition. He explained again and again that the subconscious mind doesn't respond to occasional bursts of effort. It responds to consistency. Just like planting a seed in the soil, you can't water it once and expect a full-grown tree the next day. You must tend to it daily, allowing the roots to grow silently beneath the surface until the visible results appear. Repetition is the gentle watering of the mental garden, and it's one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to reshape your financial life. Why is repetition so potent? Because the subconscious learns through pattern. Every belief you hold right now was formed by repeated exposure. Things you heard often as a child, thoughts you replayed in your mind for years, feelings you reinforced over and over. If you've unknowingly repeated, "I never have enough," or "money is hard to come by" for decades, that programming has become automatic. The good news is that this same mechanism can be used to install new, prosperous beliefs. Murphy often said, "Your subconscious accepts what you impress upon it repeatedly, especially with emotion. It doesn't analyze or argue. It simply absorbs." So when you choose one clear affirmation or prayer for wealth and gently repeat it throughout the day, you're carving a new mental groove. Over time, this groove becomes deeper than the old ones, and your outer life naturally begins to reflect the new path. Imagine this like waves on a beach. One single wave doesn't shape the shore, but wave after wave, hour after hour, the shoreline slowly changes its form. Repetition is the same. Each prayer, each affirmation, each mental image reshapes the inner landscape bit by bit until it becomes your new normal. So how do you create a daily routine that truly compounds over time? Start small and keep it simple. Choose one prosperity statement that resonates deeply with you. For example, "I am one with the infinite riches of my subconscious mind. Money flows to me easily and abundantly." Now, rather than saying it once and forgetting it, weave it into your day. Say it in the morning before you even get out of bed. Whisper it while brushing your teeth. Repeat it silently while waiting in line. Let it become the background music of your mind. Murphy also encouraged repetition before sleep because the subconscious is most receptive in those quiet moments. As you drift into that drowsy state, called the state akin to sleep, you can impress ideas more easily. So each night, gently repeat your chosen wealth affirmation until you feel a sense of calm and trust. This simple bedtime habit compounds powerfully because the subconscious continues to work on it throughout the night. Another effective practice is rhythmic prayer. This isn't about rushing or forcing words. It's about a slow, steady cadence that lulls the conscious mind into calmness while the subconscious absorbs the meaning. For example, breathe in slowly while thinking, "I am provided for," and breathe out thinking, "I am abundantly blessed." This rhythm connects the thought with feeling, which deepens its impact. You can also use repetition to build a mental image. Each day, at the same time, close your eyes and see yourself living your desired financial life. See yourself paying bills easily, smiling with relief. See money coming to you through expected and unexpected channels. The more you revisit this inner scene, the more real it becomes to your subconscious. The key is persistence without strain. Murphy taught that repetition should feel like planting, not pushing. You don't have to force belief immediately. Even if at first it feels like you're just saying words, keep going. Over time, the words gather emotional weight, and the subconscious begins to accept them as reality. Think of how advertising works. You may not notice a single ad, but when you see the same message repeatedly, it subtly shapes your preferences. Your subconscious is like that. It doesn't care if you're repeating a positive or negative idea. It simply accepts what's familiar. So make abundance, not lack, the familiar voice it hears all day. Here's a simple routine to try. Morning, the moment you wake up, affirm one clear statement about wealth, slowly and with feeling. Midday, take 60 seconds to close your eyes and visualize abundance flowing to you now. Evening, before sleep, softly repeat a gratitude prayer for the wealth that is already unfolding. Over weeks and months, this repetition compounds. It's like adding drops into a jar. At first it seems small, but eventually the jar overflows. Murphy shared many stories of people who transformed their finances simply through repeated prayer. One woman he wrote about was drowning in debt, but she began every day by saying, "Infinite supply is meeting all my needs right now." At first, nothing seemed to change, but within months, unexpected opportunities arrived. Her debts were paid, and her income stabilized. She didn't force the change. She simply allowed the repeated idea of abundance to replace the old belief in lack. Repetition also dissolves doubt. When you hear the same empowering idea often enough, the skeptical part of your conscious mind eventually grows quiet. It's like smoothing a rough stone with gentle strokes. Each repetition softens resistance until what once felt impossible now feels natural. So today, choose one wealth prayer or affirmation and commit to it. Don't hop from one to another. Don't keep checking for results. Simply repeat it faithfully, like a calm undercurrent in your life. Over time, you'll notice subtle shifts, more ease around money, new ideas coming to mind, unexpected help showing up. These are signs that the seed you've planted is beginning to grow. Remember, repetition is not about effort, it's about rhythm. A steady, consistent rhythm of thought plants wealth deeply into your subconscious. And what is planted there must eventually bloom outward in ways that often feel effortless and divinely timed. Silent prayer for money flow. Joseph Murphy reminded his readers that the most powerful prayers are not the loudest, nor the most dramatic. They are the quiet ones, the prayers whispered within the heart, the kind that require no elaborate words or rituals. Silent prayer is like planting a seed deep in the soil where no one can see it, yet it grows strong because it is nurtured in stillness. When it comes to attracting financial flow, this kind of silent prayer can create results faster because it bypasses resistance and connects directly with the subconscious. In our busy, noisy world, we are constantly bombarded with external voices, advertisements telling us what we lack, social media comparing us to others, the news reminding us of fear and scarcity. All of this external noise keeps the mind restless and distracted, making it harder to connect with the inner wellspring of abundance. But when you enter silence, you step away from the world's chatter and into the quiet space where your subconscious listens clearly. Silent prayer is not about begging for money or pleading for help. It is about aligning with the truth that abundance already exists within you. It's like tuning an instrument. You're adjusting your inner vibration to match the flow of wealth that is already circulating in the universe. Here's why it works so effectively. When you pray silently, your conscious mind relaxes. There's no strain to find the right words. You simply rest in the feeling of what you desire. Murphy explained that the subconscious doesn't respond to the exact words you speak. It responds to the emotional tone, the quiet inner knowing. Silence helps you drop from the restless mind into the calm state where belief is more natural. So how do you practice silent prayer for money flow? Start by finding a moment of stillness. You don't need hours, just a few minutes where you can sit quietly. Close your eyes and take a few gentle breaths, letting the outer world fade into the background. Now, instead of thinking, "I want more money," shift your inner language to, "I am connected to the infinite source of wealth. It flows to me now with ease." But here's the key. Don't just repeat the words. Feel the meaning behind them. Imagine money as a soft, golden light surrounding you, flowing toward you naturally without effort. Some people find it helpful to imagine a river. See yourself standing by a wide, calm river of wealth. The water is clear and endless, gently flowing toward you. You don't need to chase it. You don't need to grasp at it. It's already coming to you, carried by the current of divine supply. Sit with this image in silence. Let it fill your entire awareness. Silent prayer also means letting go of noise inside yourself. If doubts come up, "But I've struggled for so long," or "What if nothing changes?" don't fight them. Just acknowledge them and return to the feeling of calm trust. Murphy often wrote that the subconscious is like fertile soil. If you plant a seed of wealth with feeling, it will grow, even if for a time you can't see it. Silence allows you to plant the seed without scattering your energy. This practice can be as simple as sitting quietly for 5 minutes each morning and evening, silently affirming abundance. You don't need anyone else to hear it. You don't even have to move your lips. Just quietly declare within, I am wealth. I am supplied. I am at peace with money. Let the stillness itself carry the prayer deeper. Murphy also shared that when you're silent, you naturally open a clearer channel to infinite intelligence, the deeper part of you that is connected to all supply. You're no longer telling it how to work. You're simply listening and trusting. Many people report that after moments of silent prayer, inspired ideas come to them. New ways to earn, unexpected solutions to financial problems, or even sudden opportunities that seem like coincidence, but are really the subconscious guiding them. Another way to deepen silent prayer is through gratitude. Instead of silently asking for what you don't yet see, silently give thanks as if it's already yours. For example, thank you for the money that is flowing into my life right now. Thank you for the doors opening. Thank you for the ease and peace that wealth brings. This kind of gratitude prayer shifts your focus from lack to plenty, and the subconscious mirrors whatever you focus on most. You can also combine silent prayer with the power of touch. Place your hand gently over your heart or on your abdomen while you pray inwardly. This physical connection anchors the feeling into your body, making it more real. The body and mind work together, and this simple gesture helps the subconscious absorb the feeling even more deeply. It's important to remember that silent prayer is not about time. It's about depth. 2 minutes of genuine, quiet alignment with abundance can be far more effective than hours of worry or forceful affirmations. In silence, you stop pushing and you start allowing. Many people underestimate the power of this practice because it feels so simple. But think about it. Your greatest insights often come when you're quiet, not when you're busy trying to solve everything. Wealth is no different. It flows best when you relax into the truth that you're already connected to it. Over time, the more you practice silent prayer, the more natural it feels. You'll notice subtle changes, less anxiety about money, more unexpected blessings, a deeper sense of security. And from that inner peace, outer solutions appear more easily. So try this today. Find a quiet moment, even just 5 minutes. Sit still, close your eyes, and silently feel the truth that money is already flowing toward you. Imagine yourself as a magnet of ease and prosperity. Trust that the subconscious is listening, even if you don't hear anything back. When you leave this moment of silence, carry the calm feeling with you. Let it guide your actions and words throughout the day. Little by little, the inner shift creates an outer flow, acting as if already rich. Pause for a moment and notice where you're listening from. Is it early morning where the world feels quiet? Or late at night when thoughts tend to run deeper? Maybe it's the middle of a busy day, but you've carved out this moment for yourself. Share your location and the time in the comments so we can see how this message is reaching hearts across different places. Joseph Murphy often said that your outer life is a reflection of your inner self-image. If you see yourself as struggling, lacking, or unworthy, your subconscious faithfully reproduces that belief in your circumstances. But if you carry yourself with the quiet dignity and confidence of someone already wealthy, your subconscious begins to match that image. This is why acting as if is not about pretending or faking. It's about embodying the feeling and mindset of the abundance you wish to experience until it becomes natural. So what does it really mean to act as if you're already rich? It doesn't mean you suddenly start buying things you can't afford or putting on a show for others. True wealth consciousness has nothing to do with empty displays. Instead, it's an inner shift in the way you carry yourself, think, and respond to life. It's choosing to align your thoughts, emotions, and small daily actions with the state of someone who already has more than enough. When you imagine a person who is financially secure, notice how they move. There's no tension in their shoulders when they talk about bills. There's no desperation in their choices. They make decisions calmly, with clarity, because they trust there's always more where that came from. You can begin to adopt that same calmness today, even if your external circumstances have not yet changed. Acting as if already rich starts with your self-talk. For example, instead of thinking I can't afford this, shift your inner words to I'm choosing what aligns best with my abundant life. That subtle change sends a completely different signal to the subconscious. The first statement reinforces lack. The second reinforces power and choice. It also shows up in how you treat the resources you currently have. Wealthy-minded people care for their belongings with respect, even if they're simple. They organize their finances, even when the numbers are small. They keep their environment clean and welcoming because they know they're worthy of living in beauty. These small actions send a powerful message to the subconscious. I am someone who values and attracts abundance. Another way to practice is through generosity. True wealth consciousness is expansive, not tight and fearful. You can start by giving in small ways, sharing a kind word, offering help, even giving a small amount of money to someone in need. You're telling your subconscious, I live in a universe where there is always enough to give and receive. This attitude aligns you with a natural flow of money, which moves like energy. When you give freely, you create space for more to return. Your posture and body language also play a role. Stand a little taller. Walk with quiet confidence. Breathe deeply instead of rushing through life. Wealthy people don't move with frantic energy. They move with ease. As you adopt this physical state, your subconscious registers it as proof that you're already safe and provided for. Visualization can amplify this practice. Spend a few minutes each day imagining what your life looks like as someone already rich, not just in money, but in freedom, time, and peace of mind. See yourself making wise choices, paying for things with ease, helping family or friends generously, living in an environment that feels calm and beautiful. The more vividly you live this in your mind, the more natural it feels, and the subconscious doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. Neville Goddard, who often spoke alongside ideas similar to Murphy's, called this living in the end. You're not waiting for proof before you feel abundant. You're assuming the end result now and letting the world rearrange itself accordingly. When you live as if the desire is already fulfilled, you collapse the time it takes for it to manifest because the subconscious begins to seek ways to match the new identity you're holding. This doesn't mean you ignore your current financial responsibilities. It simply means you stop identifying yourself as someone who is trying to become rich and start identifying yourself as someone who already is abundant in essence. You might still be paying off debts or working toward specific goals, but you approach them with the calm certainty of someone who knows the outcome is secure. Acting as if also shifts how you relate to money emotionally. Instead of seeing it as scarce or something you have to chase, you treat it as a natural part of life's flow. When money comes in, you receive it with gratitude rather than fear. When money goes out, you release it with trust rather than panic. This balanced emotional relationship signals to the subconscious that you're already living in a state of plenty. One practical exercise is to ask yourself throughout the day, if I already knew I was rich, how would I handle this situation? Maybe you'd speak with more confidence in a meeting. Maybe you'd take better care of your home. Maybe you'd invest in learning something new without overthinking it. Begin doing those small things now in the way you can, and your inner state will gradually align with the wealth identity. Murphy often reminded readers that your subconscious is like a faithful servant. It doesn't question whether what you're imagining is real or not. It simply takes the dominant picture you hold and begins creating circumstances to match. So if you consistently act and feel like someone who is already rich, your subconscious will accept that as true and move you toward experiences that validate it. Over time, you'll notice subtle changes. Opportunities that once seemed invisible will appear. People who can help you will show up unexpectedly. Your decisions will naturally become wiser because they're guided by a calm, abundant mindset rather than fear. Acting as if is like tuning yourself to a new frequency. And once you're tuned in, you start to receive what already exists on that level. So today, choose one small way to act as if you're already wealthy. Maybe it's sitting down to organize your finances with a clear mind. Maybe it's dressing in a way that makes you feel confident. Maybe it's simply carrying yourself with more ease. Each small step reinforces the new self-image, and the subconscious cannot help but follow. Trusting divine timing for wealth. Joseph Murphy often reminded his readers that life unfolds with a rhythm, a timing that sometimes feels hidden but is always precise. When it comes to money, most of us carry an anxious relationship with time. We feel like it's running out, like we must rush to make things happen. But true wealth consciousness includes an inner trust that the flow of abundance moves at the perfect pace, neither delayed nor hurried. This trust is what allows you to stay calm even when things seem slow or uncertain on the surface. Think of nature. A seed doesn't sprout into a tree overnight. It has an inherent timeline, a season for roots to form, a season for growth, a season for fruit. If you dig up the soil every day to check its progress, you disrupt the process. Wealth works the same way. When you plant the seed of abundance in your subconscious, through prayer, visualization, or acting as if, it begins to grow in ways you cannot always see immediately. Trusting divine timing means you stop digging up the seed with doubt and impatience. Murphy would often quote spiritual truths like, "Your prayer is already answered, and you must rest in the knowing of its fulfillment." What delays most people is not the universe withholding money, but their own restless energy. When you constantly question, where is it? When will it come? Why isn't it here yet? You're sending mixed signals to the subconscious. You're affirming lack while claiming abundance. Trust replaces that inner tug-of-war with calm certainty. Divine timing doesn't mean waiting forever. It means things unfold in the best possible way, even if it doesn't match your limited idea of how or when. Sometimes wealth flows to you faster than you expect, through unexpected sources. Other times there's a delay, not as a punishment, but because your mindset or self-image still needs to shift to hold that wealth securely. Imagine receiving a large sum of money while still carrying a scarcity mindset. You'd lose it just as quickly. Divine timing often protects you by aligning outer results with inner readiness. To cultivate trust, remind yourself that abundance is not created by time. It already exists. You're simply aligning with it. The universe is not stingy. It's overflowing with resources. But your subconscious needs to fully accept this truth before it can show up as reality. So when you feel impatient, repeat gently, "It is already done." The right moment is unfolding perfectly. Look at people who have achieved lasting financial success. Many of them didn't get there overnight. They learned lessons along the way, lessons about value, about stewardship, about mindset that allowed them to hold wealth without fear. If everything had come instantly, they may not have been ready. The journey was part of the preparation. When you trust divine timing, you realize nothing is wasted, not even delays. Trusting the timing also means staying open to unexpected paths. Maybe you pray for money and expect it to arrive in a specific way, like a raise at work. But the subconscious and the universal mind might bring it through an entirely different channel. An idea for a side business, a chance meeting with someone who connects you to an opportunity, or even an unexpected refund. When you insist it must happen only this way, you close doors to other possibilities. Trust lets you remain flexible, knowing the how is not your job. Your job is to stay in the state of already having. You can also practice aligning with timing by noticing where wealth already exists in your life. Maybe not in large sums yet, but in the form of supportive relationships, free opportunities to learn, or even the ability to listen to this message right now. Gratitude for the present is like watering the seed. It signals that you trust the process and are ready for more. Another powerful practice is releasing the obsession with exact dates. Many people block their abundance by saying, "I need this by tomorrow," or "It must happen in 2 weeks." That creates pressure, and pressure often leads to resistance. Instead, you can declare, "I am ready and open for my wealth to unfold in the most perfect way and perfect time. I trust that it is already in motion." This approach removes the strain and allows the subconscious to work freely. Murphy taught that when you truly trust divine timing, you don't sit idle. You continue taking inspired actions, but you do so without desperation. It's like knowing the sun will rise. You don't have to force it, but you prepare for it. You handle your current finances with care. You follow through on ideas that feel right. You act on opportunities without hesitation. Trust doesn't mean passivity. It means active alignment without fear. Sometimes, trusting divine timing requires releasing old timelines you placed on yourself. Maybe you thought you'd be debt-free by now or have a certain amount saved by a certain age. But those timelines came from your limited perspective. Divine timing might bring you something even better in a way that you couldn't have planned. By letting go of rigid expectations, you create space for something more aligned than what you originally imagined. If doubt creeps in, remember the many stories of people who received financial blessings at the exact moment they needed them. It might have seemed late by human standards, but it was perfect in hindsight. Perhaps you can think of a time in your own life when something came just in time, even though you were worried before it happened. Use that memory as proof that unseen forces are always working in your favor. Trusting divine timing for wealth also deepens your peace. Instead of living in a constant state of urgency, you move through life with calm assurance. This calmness itself attracts opportunities because people are drawn to those who aren't desperate. They sense stability, and stability invites more abundance. So today, take a moment to release the mental timeline you've been clinging to. Place your hand gently over your heart and affirm silently, I trust the perfect timing of my wealth. It is already on its way to me, and I am ready to receive it in the best possible way. Feel the weight lift as you hand over the win and how to the higher intelligence that already knows what's best. From this place of trust, you'll notice life moving more smoothly. Ideas will come more easily. The next step will reveal itself. And before you know it, the wealth you've been waiting for will appear, not as a struggle, but as a natural unfolding, living in permanent abundance. Imagine a life where wealth isn't something you chase. It's simply the natural atmosphere you live in. In Joseph Murphy's teachings, abundance is not a temporary event. It's a permanent state of mind. When you truly grasp this, you stop thinking of money as something separate or elusive. It becomes like the air you breathe, always available, always flowing, always present. Permanent abundance begins with understanding that wealth isn't just for you. It's something that moves through you. When you see yourself as a channel for divine supply, you stop hoarding, stop fearing, and start circulating wealth with wisdom. You recognize that the more you allow prosperity to flow outward in kindness, generosity, and value, the more it flows back to you multiplied. It's not about giving away recklessly. It's about living with the deep knowing that supply is endless, and what you give returns in ways you may not even expect. Prayer becomes a way of life in this state. Not a ritual to fix problems, but a daily alignment with the truth of your infinite source. Instead of only praying for money, you pray from abundance. You say, thank you for the wealth already flowing in my life. Thank you for the opportunities that bless not just me, but everyone I meet. This kind of prayer doesn't seek, it acknowledges. It doesn't beg, it claims. When you live in permanent abundance, your relationship with time changes. You no longer feel rushed or pressured to make money. You trust that every need is already met and that every resource is on its way in the perfect moment. You also stop comparing your journey to anyone else's because you know that abundance is not a competition, it's infinite. This mindset also transforms how you make decisions. Instead of thinking, can I afford this? You begin to ask, does this align with my highest good? Does it expand the flow of life? Your choices become guided by value, not fear. And because you make decisions from a place of expansion, more wealth naturally comes to support those decisions. Permanent abundance also removes the guilt that many people carry about having money. You no longer feel like you're taking from someone else because you understand wealth is not a finite pie. It's an ever-expanding ocean. Your prosperity doesn't diminish anyone else's. In fact, it creates more possibilities for others. When you thrive, you inspire, employ, support, and uplift those around you. Joseph Murphy often said that the subconscious is like a garden. If you plant seeds of lack, you'll harvest lack. But if you continuously plant seeds of gratitude, faith, and prosperity, you'll live in a garden of endless supply. The key is consistency. Permanent abundance comes when you make prayer, gratitude, visualization, and positive self-talk a daily rhythm. Not just when times feel tough, but even when things are already going well. This level of living also dissolves the roller coaster of highs and lows with money. You're no longer excited only when a big check comes in or panicked when an unexpected expense arises. Instead, you remain steady. You know that whatever goes out will return multiplied. You know that divine supply is never cut off. You know that wealth isn't a number, it's a state of being. And because you live this truth, you become a quiet light for others. People notice your peace around money. They see how you make decisions calmly, how you give without fear, how you receive without guilt. They feel safer around you because you carry the energy of sufficiency. And in this way, your abundance multiplies beyond yourself. It ripples into families, communities, and causes that matter. Living in permanent abundance isn't about being rich in a shallow sense. It's about knowing you're connected to an infinite source and expressing the connection through your life. It's about enjoying the beauty of material things without being enslaved by them. It's about being free to live, give, create, and expand without fear of running out. So as you step into this final space of reflection, see yourself as you truly are, a limitless being with access to infinite supply. See yourself no longer hustling or grasping, but resting in the effortless flow of divine wealth. See your life as an endless circulation of good, money flowing in, money flowing out, blessings multiplying in ways you can't yet imagine. Now, place a hand gently on your heart and affirm softly within yourself. I live in permanent abundance. I am one with infinite supply. I am a channel of wealth for myself and others. Everything I need is already flowing to me, through me, and for me in perfect harmony. From this moment, you no longer see prayer as a request. You see it as a way of being. You are not waiting for abundance. It is already here, woven into your very existence. You are wealth in motion, and nothing can change that truth. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.